Welcome back to another episode. Happy Tuesday, guys. Thank you guys for being here. Rudy, my friend, welcome. Thank you for being here on another Rudy Tuesday.
Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me, as always.
Guys, it looks like we have some action. At least action that Rudy hasn't spoken on. I don't remember if he spoke on it on his show, but we're going to get started, guys, because we have some fun topics. I hope, at least. I feel like they're going to be fun, or at least they should be fun if you guys get involved. So, Rudy, what's going on? Anything exciting going on?
No, not much, man. Life, everything. I see Joker J in the convo. He's a bad influence right there. I swear. I started off trying to look at those 3-0 Fallout figures, and I said I was going to call him out on it. Now he's got me looking at these $430 armor figures, and I'm like, do I want to? They look good? Do I really want to?
This is proof, guys. When you have peasants influencing kings, that's when you know that this is no longer for you. You know what I mean? When you let the peasants dictate your collecting, that's when you know it's over. You know. Oh man, let's see who's in the house tonight with us. We got Giovanni in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Hello!
Welcome. We got Nefty in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. He says, good evening, everyone. Fortune, good night. Smile once more. What the hell is he talking about? Kicking some King Lear quotes?
Nefty, you're getting a little too fancy for us, man.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
Remember, peasants here. We got Bo! Bo!
How you doing?
Says, hello, welcome, collectors and fight enthusiasts. Unbelievable. Hit that like. Yes, guys, there's 18 of you guys in here. Hit that like button. Please don't be peasants already. It's too early. We have Luch in the house. Welcome, my
Hello!
What up, my 1/6 scale true collectors and us Kenner superpowers. What the hell is he talking about? Fights and collectors living vicariously through you on the unbelievable. Yeah. This is what happens. He met his first girlfriend, lost his virginity. Now he's like, oh my God. Like, I can't collect anymore. I'm getting laid now. Unreal. What a peasant. We got the Thor in the house. Welcome, my friend.
Konnichiwa means what's up.
Let's see. 2 whole minutes later. Unbelievable. We were just backstage setting up for you guys. Don't be peasants, okay? Has anyone seen Thomas Jones lately? I'm worried about him. Did he ever get his money back from Toys for Kids? I meant it. You know? Oh my God! See how he's always spreading misinformation. That's guys,
drama, man.
For those who don't know, wait, let me tell you guys what happened. 2 streams ago, this peasant, somebody blocked him. Okay, from the stream. I don't know who it was. Nobody knows.
It wasn't me.
Nobody knows who blocked him, but somebody blocked his peasant ass for being a peasant for this exact reason. Why is he bringing in Toys for Kiddos in this conversation about scamming somebody when he knows damn well Toys for Kiddos has never and will never take a penny from anybody? But this is why he gets blocked, and then he complains that people are sensitive. Meanwhile, he's spreading misinformation, disinformation at that. Okay, peasant.
Oh my God! I still can't believe he got blocked.
He did. I don't know who did it though. Tuli, my friend, welcome.
Hello!
Giveaway winner in the house. Channel member in the house. Unreal. Uncarded, my friend.
Konnichiwa means what's up.
Late as usual. Unbelievable. Another giveaway winner. Second place giveaway winner in the house. Your stuff, both of your stuff was shipped, guys, yesterday, I believe. So you'll get them soon enough. Hit that like button. Yes, there's 23 of you guys in here. Thank you guys for being here. Welcome. We got Paul in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Let's see who else is in the house. We got Ash in the house. I was gonna call you when Mike calls you, but that's disrespectful.
Don't do it.
I don't even know how he got that. That's the funniest. He's like, He's like, "Hey, you."
What you do to Mike, Ash?
Yeah, I don't
No,
remember.
like, what
I don't
did you do?
remember. Yeah, I don't remember what happened. I don't remember what happened. But Ash said something. Mike was like, "What?" Ah, man. Shout out to Michael. Oh my God. Yes, guys, it's 22 of you guys hit that like button. So, guys, so we're gonna get started, but first and foremost, I would like hold on one second. I just want to do something real quickly because we're gonna start the show. Rudy doesn't know about this right now, but we're gonna start the show. Hold on. I'm just gonna do this.
What are you getting me into?
You'll see. So this is what we're gonna do, guys. So I'm gonna ask you a few questions, Rudy, because I feel like some people may not know you in the community. You obviously have had a channel for a while, or at least how long?
A little over 2 years now.
Okay, so 2 years. So I wanted to ask you a few questions for people, for obviously for the people watching who watch you, your channel or on here. I'm actually going to put your link, the link to your latest video. Was it the Kang video, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, guys, if you don't mind, check that out whenever you guys get a chance. Here it is in the chat. So this is Rudy's channel. So if you haven't subbed, please go ahead and sub. Check out the videos. So, Rudy, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about how you started collecting, what got you started, and if you remember, what were the original or the first figures that you got that started your collection now?
6 scale or just in general collecting?
In general, whatever you had, whatever you started with.
So I think, the first serious collecting, because I was always getting stuff, right? Like Transformers, G.I. Joes. The first Craze was, and even though I'm not a Star Wars collector anymore, it was the Phantom Menace. When that released, I don't know if you remember the midnight release at Toys R Us before Toys R Us shut down, where they dropped every single, what was it, the 3 3/4 inch figures?
I don't. What year was this? I don't remember that at all.
This was what year did Phantom Menace come out? 1990, like
no,
something?
It was early 2000s. That was early 2000s.
No, was it?
You think that was 99 or 98? Absolutely.
Hold on. Now I'll tell you right now.
Go ahead, look it up.
Bear with us, everybody,
because I'm telling you right now that was not 1999.
1999.
That was Phantom Menace.
Yep.
Okay, so I thought it was 2001. Go ahead.
So that's when, remember, Toys R Us did this thing where they launched all the Hasbro lines at midnight, and I remember going to Toys R Us. Right, I was a junior in high school. I was like, let me try. This is cool. I like Star Wars. The craze was insane. Right, people were lined up, and when they opened those doors, people rushed that store to try to get all these little figures, and you were trying to find all the vehicles and everything and whatnot. So I walked out with like every single thing imaginable, and I think I still have it somewhere in storage. But that's kind of the first taste I got of collecting. And then from then on, I was always a big movie guy, right? So it was always your Rambos, your Predators, Aliens, all that stuff. And that's when I started getting into McFarlane figures. I don't know if you remember, he used to have those lines that he did, and then he started the Movie Maniacs lines where they were 6-inch figures. They were basically statues because you couldn't really do much with them. Right. But he did Terminator, and he did the same thing that Hot Toys did where they couldn't get the... What's up, William?
Get off the doorbell. My God. Welcome, William. Imagine getting yelled at. Go ahead.
Don't get yelled. No, so... William, I'm just telling Fabs how I kind of got into the game a little bit. And we were talking about McFarlane's Movie Maniac series, where he did those 6-inch figures, right? And then he started getting into the Predator figures and all that. So that got me going. But the first taste of 6 scale I had was, there was some early 6 scale military, but Hot Toys, when they did the Dark Knight figures, that's when I everybody had those things up. And look, now we look back at those original Hot Toys figures and we're like, no, they don't even compare to what we're getting these days. But at the time, those things were amazing, right? They were probably the best looking figures you could get that looked like the best recreation of what we saw on screen. So I remember getting them.
It was the best at the time. Yep.
Yeah, they were still expensive for the time, but you could get some figures for $140, $150. So I did what I think a lot of us did. which is once you discover Hot Toys, you start going back and trying to pick up a bunch of things. So I ended up getting a ton of the early figures, the Rambos, the Rockies, right? And then I started figuring out how do I pre-order. So that's how I found Sideshow. So that was kind of the journey, but it was the Dark Knight is what got me into the 6-scale world from Hot Toys.
And that's when you never left. You've been with Hot Toys.
I never left, man. I never left. Stuck with Hot Toys. I definitely left the other lines. Like I stopped with the 6-inch figures because at that point, you kind of start investing into everything. I think I tried a statue or two and realized that wasn't for me either.
And that's a great point. Because it goes to another question that I wanted to ask you, and we were talking about before. As a longtime collector who obviously, and I feel like everybody starts always with something else first, and then they find Hot Toys one way or the other.
Right.
As a collector that's been around for many, many years, and like some others in here right now, for example, the Thor is one of them who started with obviously not Hot Toys and has been collecting for a long time. You got Joker J, same thing. Those at least, are the ones that I know. You got Nefty as well. So I don't know any others in the chat at the moment, but as you personally, as somebody who has been collecting, for many, many years now, and again, starting with other lines complete. Do you still have the old stuff or no?
Yeah, I still have some of those old things. Yeah.
How do you see this going? Like, where do you see this going for you specifically, having the collection size that you have, having the amount of lines that you have, having the amount of figures and scales that you have? How do you feel being in this game this long, seeing the price hikes, seeing the upgrades, seeing the updates, seeing the innovation, seeing how much better everything has gotten, materials, even the pleather to a certain extent has gotten, a bit better. I feel like a lot of people, even though obviously out of fear, they complain and they get scared, right? They fear the pleather. So the first thing they ask is, "Oh, is it pleather? Is it pleather?" Right? Again, out of fear. Right. But I feel like very rarely are people having pleather issues, within the past few years because of that. So as a whole, as a collector, how do you see the whole thing going for you, and where do you see this going?
Where do I see this going? That's who knows, right? I'll get into that in a little bit. But as somebody who's been collecting, I think the first thing that immediately strikes you is the cost. Right, in the last 20 years, and granted, you put in inflation and everything, sure, the cost of everything goes up, but the cost has changed dramatically. Where I still remember, I think it was one of the Predator special edition figures that got released for one of the Comic-Cons. That was the first time they started to cross the $200 mark. And that was the first time I kind of, after getting everything, remember they were releasing Terminator, Resident Evil Alice from Resident Evil Afterlife for $160. It was like, all right, I'll pick them up. Right?
Yeah,
I could justify it. I'm like, yeah, I'll get this, I'll get that. And then when it crossed the $200 threshold, you take a step back.
Oh no, like, okay. Not me.
Well, I took a step back and then I ordered it anyway. So it wasn't like I said no, right? And then things started creeping up, right? But look, so prices obviously increased, but with the price increases, whether it's justified or not, you've also gotten a vastly improved product than what we used to get before, just even from a face sculpt perspective. That's why sometimes when we're arguing about likeness and some people are like, oh my God, it doesn't look exactly like this person. I'm like, I think it looks pretty decent when you compare it to some of these. And look, that's not always giving them a pass, any of these companies. But when you look back at what we used to collect and what we used to be impressed with, it's a huge difference and a huge evolution. So that's the one thing, cost, and then also innovation, but also the number of releases we've gotten. Well, you've mentioned this before. When Hot Toys started, they were not releasing nearly as many pre-orders as they were, and as many figures as they were. I mean, every year since this year and last year, it's been an onslaught of releases and it's been hard to keep up. So instead of starting where I was trying to collect anything Hot Toys, right, I really had to kind of focus the lines in a little bit. So it was, let me start with the superhero stuff. Right. Now, granted, when your budget starts increasing a little bit as you get older and, you get a little bit more disposable income, you're still being responsible, of course. You still open up to picking up some more things. And the other thing that's happened, I think, is be it third party or other companies that are stepping in, you're getting just such a variety of product at this point.
So
Hot Toys has the Star Wars market cornered, the superhero stuff. Look, Damn Toys, I got into Damn Toys now. They do military figures. They do those Gangsters Kingdom lines.
Yep.
Joker J and I were talking about those Monster Hunter figures that look really appealing and nobody knows. 3-0 stepping into things as well. And then you've got the new companies that are trying to jump in. And then third company, it's just, there's so much out there to pick from. And a lot of it is actually really good product as well. So
right
it's a huge change.
We're gonna get into, because you brought up a good point with the lines. But let me say hello to some of you guys real quickly, and then we'll continue. We got Chris in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. We got, let's see, there's haters in fact, this guy, unbelievable. Let's see who else is in here real quickly. May 1999. May 1999 was like 50 years ago. We got Anthony in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Let's see who else. Nefty says, "What's up, Williams?" Williams, how are you?
Is that somebody?
We got Ernesto in the house. Welcome, my friend. Somebody what?
That somebody's Williams?
No, you or Williams. You're more than one Williams. Williams. See what's cracking? Well, everybody's saying hello, William. Have some manners. Let's see. Thule says, speaking of sideshow, anyone see those new $400 6-scale figures, Castor and Pollux?
I think that's the one I sent you.
Yeah, those other ones you sent me. They look really cool, but at $400, they could keep each one. Next, Rudy, I'll live through you on those.
No, I don't know. I don't even know what they're from, man. They look great.
They look sick though. They're like robots. Well, I've been collecting debt for many years too. I've been in the game a long time. Oh, Thule. So tell us in the chat, how do you feel? Since you started, what do you see differently? What do you see better? What do you see worse? What do you see, different? Let us know. Thanks for this guy, unbelievable. We got Harold in the house. Welcome, my friend.
Konnichiwa means what's up.
We got Gina in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Welcome. Let's see. We got Joker J. Did I say hello to Joker J? I don't know, but hello, Joker J. Welcome. Let's see. All right, so back to the topic. Before we continue, William, you've been collecting for how many years now? Like when you first started, not Hot Toys, like in general.
30-ish years.
How long ago did you start with the Hot Toys? Or like 1/6 scale? Not strictly 1/6 scale.
The first 1/6 scale I remember buying, well, I guess, does a 12-inch figure count as 1/6 scale?
Yeah, 12. Yeah.
So the middle to late 90s, buying the Power of the Force 12-inch figures, and late 90s is the first time I remember buying Sideshow, where they had the Ash from Evil Dead, or I'm sorry, Army of Darkness was the branded figure with the chainsaw hand and stuff, and that was a Sideshow 12-inch figure, changeable hand. The shotgun opened up. It was like, it was like mind-blowing for me because of the details and accessories. And
peasant.
And also I was buying 1/6 scale 30 years ago.
Oh my god.
And then also Sideshow was putting out the Buffy the Vampire Slayer 12-inch figures.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So now, same question goes for you. Being around for this long, seeing, starting from other lines, I'm assuming, owning other stuff, and then getting into, 1/6 scale, Sideshow, then Hot Toys. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about how you've been, or how it's been for you as a collector, the past 20 years, at least, if you remember as much, and, or, being around that long, and specifically speaking of Hot Toys, where do you see this headed, especially after being around and living through the past 2 months?
It's makes you have to be a lot more exclusive with what you choose. That's probably the wrong word exactly from
More
what I'm
selective. More selective.
better
Yeah.
word. There you go. And English isn't even your first language. What the
Oh
heck?
yes, it is.
So, with the rising prices, it makes you be more selective because,
Don't be racist either. Okay.
Colombia. But
Oh, my God.
not racist if it's true. Anywho, but as Rudy was saying,
Oh
like,
my God.
you had so many things that you wanted and that you were going out and you were just snatching everything, and now it's like you have to really think: do I need it? Do I want it? Do I have room for it? Because to me personally, it's like, a 2.0, a re-release, a new version of the same figure that I have. Sometimes I want it. Sometimes I'm like, like the indoor Han Solo coming out. I really like my New Hope's Han, and I don't foresee getting indoor Han, just because.
No way.
What?
I think you're getting that figure. You, as hardcore as you are with Star Wars, there is absolutely no way. You may not pre-order it, fine, but I'm gonna tell you this: when that figure is out, William will be one of the first to get that figure. Remember this conversation. See?
He's gonna wait for a deal though. He's gonna get it for a great deal.
Absolutely.
I already have a Han, but I ordered the new Chewie to replace my New Hope Chewie. So I don't.
He's getting it, guys. Just remember this conversation. Somebody clip this.
I do get it, then.
See, if I do get it, he went from.
He knows.
I told you. I told you.
Sentence, sir. If I get it, it means I'm selling the New Hope Han.
Which you're not gonna do because you love him so much.
Well, I'm just saying. Because like the New Hope Chewie, bye. As soon as the semi-artisan, halfway artisan Chewie shows up with plastic C-3PO parts, he is going in the case, and a New Hope will wave goodbye and go to a new home somewhere.
Oh my God!
Well, what's gonna happen when they do the artisan escape from the artisan Bespin Han?
The artisan best friend Leia, the escape Leia. So let me say hello to Chris real quick. Hello, Chris. How are you, my friend? Welcome.
Hello!
Let me see who else is in the house real quick. We got Thomas Jones in the house. Welcome, my friend.
I'm doing.
Nice to see you. I think Luch was asking for you. I think you owe him money. We got Big Dog in the house. Welcome, my friend.
Hello!
Let's see who else is in here. We got Clayton Martin. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here.
Hello!
It's Colombia. This guy. We heard it here first. Absolutely. Albert, how are you, my friend?
Hello!
We turn in these two agents. Oh my God.
It says gents.
Gents, not agents.
Oh, I heard. I read. See what happens when you have when you're dyslexic. I told you.
Freudian slip right there where he's calling us agents.
Yeah,
Agent.
you guys are CIA.
You're not.
We got Fred in the house. Welcome, my friend. Thank you for being
I'm doing.
welcome. Let's see. First time watcher. Just left the background. Figure talk. Thank you. Welcome. Nice to see you.
I'm doing.
All right. So quickly, William, before we go to Rudy, something happened today that you brought to my attention. Please let them know what happened and what you think happened with the conversion.
Okay.
With the conversion, yeah.
I was like, what did I do today? So I got a notification saying in my email saying that my wait list for the imposter artisan Joker has converted and that I could make the purchase if I want to. So I clicked on it because I figured that it would be, sold out already, and it's still there. It's still there right now.
What do you think? What do you think is happening?
People can't afford it.
So you're saying there's brokes.
I'm saying people are.
William's like, I'm saying
there's people that get into the queues either just to be like, look at me, so they could post their little screenshot.
I said that. People do that. I got it. And then they cancel. And guess what? Are you going to keep track of them? Are you going to be like, oh, did you get it or not? Absolutely not. And that's why they do it.
And I don't understand the whole canceling concept when you've already paid the deposit, because you can, these exclusives you can at least sell back for
correct
problem.
Even here's the thing, a lot of people get turned off in the beginning when something is out, they know it's going to sell out, and obviously the scalpers are going to go and raise it 100 to 150. But if you're not that person and you want to still get it and sell it, you'll sell it very quickly if you up it $50 $50 and you make a $50 profit, and there you go. But if you want to make 100, 150, 200, that's when it gets harder. That's when it gets trickier.
It's just it's all the time I'll get a figure that I paid off, and it's just like, all right. And then like the Mando Clone Wars Obi-Wan, like I'm mixing up figures, the Mandalorian armor Obi-Wan from the Clone Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I got that. I compared it to my custom. I actually liked my custom better. My custom's back in the case. Obi-Wan went to a new home. And,
really?
And I listed it for like $330 or something like that, where I get my money back. They paid for the shipping, and I made about $20.
There you go. See, and it was that much easier for you to sell it than try to make $100 on it.
Yeah, and then I get my rewards for Sideshow to use on something in the future, and it goes to somebody who's hopefully not, scalping it to resell to somebody else for, a crap ton or something. But that is what it is. They can do whatever they want once it's their property.
Right.
But
now, question for you. What is so much better about yours than the Hot Toys one? Because I would think obviously a custom is never better than, you know what I mean?
I actually like the paint job on mine that the guy did, because it was a one-off paint job where it looked more like the cartoon paint, in my opinion. And it was just, I don't know. I like my Obi-Wan head too. I think the head sculpt that I have is, it's like the episode 3 one, but it's a custom one of that. So it's not an off-the-shelf Obi-Wan head. So I just like the way it looks, and I couldn't be like, okay, I think the Hot Toys one is just so much better that I'm gonna keep it, when it's like, you look at it, keep what I got.
Right. Guys, hit that like button. There's 40 of you guys here. Well, there's 35 of you guys here now, but don't forget to hit that like button. Don't be peasant. Harold says, I almost pre-ordered, so everything was cool. Imagine. I don't understand the selling on concept either. Get that word green. Unbelievable. So now back to the topic. So Rudy, we were talking about the lines. Obviously from 5 years ago, from 3 years ago, from 8 years ago, obviously everything has changed. Everything, especially, getting into third party and how many lines they're getting into, how much more third-party product we've been getting as well.
Right.
So as a collector of 1/6, there are multiple companies to get licensed product from, but there are tons of others that are unlicensed, and they are obviously all third-party, but they are line fillers, right? They complete lines. Sometimes they Hot Toys will make a one figure, and they'll, the third party companies will make others for that same line that Hot Toys only made one for. So knowing all of this and being around all of this, and obviously being a real collector, being a professional collector, right? Like really, not sarcastically, not a joke,
right?
Because it's what we do, right? How do you feel about the amount of product that is out there for us to choose from, compared to obviously when we first started, specifically now 1/6, and does it make it harder for you to buy more because you got to be more selective, or to you is just, you just get what you get no matter what, and you'll deal with whatever the price is?
No. I mean, I think the reality is, right, we're seeing it. There's a ton of product from everybody, not just third party, licensed and whatnot, right? You're getting a ton of stuff out there. but how you approach it, at least how I've approached it, is very different. Like I said early on, if it was a Hot Toys product, I was picking it up, right? It didn't matter what it was from. It was Hot Toys. It's a piece that stands out, right? A figure that stands out. Now I can't do that, right? Even with Hot Toys, I can't be a completist. Even with so I had to do exactly what you said. You pick your lines. And even with your lines, like Marvel is my big thing, right? I'm still a Marvel. I'm still fully into it, right? So for me, this year was actually a little bit. Listen, it's old pre-orders are coming in, so I'm catching up on those figures I ordered 1 or 2 years ago at this point. But there haven't been a lot of new pre-orders because of kind of this lull in Marvel at the moment, and that's allowed me to kind of jump into Star Wars a little bit again. But I told you too, with all the Disney presentations and everything that's coming out, as a collector, I'm already starting to think, all right, you've got the new Captain America coming out, you got Thunderbolts, you got those new Avengers movies coming out, you got Fantastic Four, and I'm already starting to kind of ease off that dabbling that I was doing in Star Wars. And it's like, doesn't mean I'm not going to pick up Star Wars figures, but I'm going to be much more selective,
right? Just not
because I need to save the budget I do have for the collection that I want to continue to grow. And for third party, look at the Moon Knight series, right? We got the So-So Toys Mr. Knight, and then we got the Thunder Toys Khonshu. To kind of complete that line, you had to step out of Hot Toys a little bit, like you were saying. Right. So I have to be, for me, at least the way I'm collecting and the lines I'm collecting, I need to be ready to jump on those figures that I don't think Hot Toys is going to make.
Now,
right?
have you noticed lately that you're being more, like, you actually are more aware, like, man, I wish I got that, but I can't because I'm going to get this instead? Like, have you noticed that, like, personally, like, you hear yourself saying it, like, man, like, I can't get this, I wish I could, but I have to.
Yeah.
You hear that? You're doing that. You're doing that a lot more. You notice?
Yeah, and there's a list of figures I have, Hot Toys and from other companies, that I'd love to pick up, but again, I'm just like, pre-orders are still coming out, right? And again, like we were talking about this the other day too, with the timed pre-order for the Mark 42, and for the battle damaged Darth Vader, which there was no way I was passing on that one, right? I wanted the exclusive, right. So I had to pre-order those just to make sure I got them. Fear FOMO is real with those. So that's a lot of money and budget already committed to that. So what are the Tyler and those Hot Toys figures? The Tyler and Johnson. I keep looking at those on Toys for Kiddles, but I'm like,
I'm getting those very soon too.
I'm hoping, but at the same time, I'm like,
Well, so it's funny you say that, because I've been eyeing. I'm getting them. Period. I know I'm going to get them.
Right.
But it's like, so I'm going to give you an example. So we were talking about this earlier. So I didn't pre-order Thrawn at all. I was like, I'll get him later on, blah, blah, blah. He's out. He's waitlisted on Sideshow, I believe. So I can't get him on Sideshow. So I had to get him somewhere else, right? But I was able to get him discounted, 10% off on top of that. So that's why, to me, it's like, oh, I don't have to pre-order everything, right? Even though I was panicking a little bit because I'm like, oh, it's out. I don't know how this is going to be doing. Let me just get them just to be safe. But again, I didn't have to order on Sideshow is my point. The reason why I didn't pre-order is specifically that, during that time when this was announced and there were other announcements made, I wasn't pre-ordering at that time. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to pre-order. I had purposely chosen not to pre-order because everything was losing so much money that I was like, it's not even worth it anymore. So I missed out on a bunch of pre-orders like She-Hulk, this guy, the Guardians, I believe, I didn't pre-order. Just because, again, mostly Marvel stuff, right? This is what I was panicking over Thrawn because he's Star Wars, right? We don't know how many pieces were made for Ahsoka, so that's what had me in panic mode. It's like, man, I don't know how long this is gonna last. I don't know how many people pre-ordered. I don't know how many people are gonna cancel. So let me just order it as soon as possible, which is what I did. So with that said, Rudy, how do you think you would be able to continue buying as much as you wanted in the rate that these are being pushed out, made, announced? Like, what do you,
I mean,
what would be your ideal situation to keep collecting more or to be able to collect more?
like, listen, ideally you have an unlimited budget, right? Somehow you have like a ton of disposable income coming in that you can dedicate to this. But the reality is, you know, we do talk about collecting a lot, and you and I both pick up a lot of figures. We do, right? But at the same time, you want to still be responsible, right? You got to pay your bills, you got to put stuff in savings, you got to invest in your retirement. So it's just that budget has to remain, and if you can grow that budget a little bit, sure, you're going to pick something else up. The
Right.
problem now is, and look, I'll tell you one thing: this summer was actually not as bad for me until like we got Deadpool and Wolverine, right? That's when I had to I pre-ordered a bunch of things. But for all of you, for you and for like Commander Green, I know you know, Chris TK, he's a big Star Wars fan too, right? Eric too. So when they started dropping that like storm of figures from Star Wars every week, and it wasn't just one pre-order, right? You were getting like 3 or 4 pre-orders a week. And then you thought, okay. And then the following week, it was another 4 pre-orders. And the following week, another 4 pre-orders. And then you thought it was a slow week. And then you get like your one-offs too that nobody expected, right? Your Droidicas. And now we're even last week, right? It's been kind of quiet. And then last Friday, we got Chewbacca at $430. So look, I'm glad. I had a bit of a moment of relief. And I sent TK a message. I'm like, listen, I feel for you. It's exciting because you're getting basically everything that you could possibly want as a Star Wars fan and then some.
Right.
But how do you keep up with that? Right? Just keeping up with the Marvel stuff is hard for me.
Correct.
And I've had a bit of a break.
But also remember that Marvel has been the number one always for at least for the last the last 7 years, right? It's always been mostly Marvel, at least as far as I remember. But now I feel like Star Wars is surpassing Marvel to a certain extent.
This year definitely. And look, and not only that, right? Look at the pieces that they're doing too.
Right.
Like you're getting the Dewback and the Stormtrooper and the Sand Trooper, right? That thing is massive. You still got the AT-RT that's supposed to be coming out.
Yep.
Right? You're getting the speeder bikes, the clone troopers. I mean, Sideshow's getting into the game now with that Scum and Villainy line, right? So it's a lot. So I feel for Star Wars fans. And again, right, for me, it's I can't even think about like trying to be a completist with that because there's just no way I can keep up. So for me, I picked the Ahsoka line, right? I like that show. It was decent. I like some of the characters. I think they visually look great.
Right.
Then I got the Darth Maul from Phantom Menace. I was excited to be able to order that one. And then that battle damaged Vader we just saw too, right? So it's like I'm going to be selective with the figures I get from that line, but I can't be a completist. And even for Marvel, right? We were talking about the suits, right? The special edition non-cinematic suits, like the black and gold armor that look stunning, right? The Coca-Cola variant that we saw that again.
It's funny you mentioned
amazing
that because I just pulled them up because I'm gonna ask you about something. Go ahead.
Yeah, but even for me, like I look at those, and as a Marvel fan, I'm like, man, those look nice. Those would look great in your collection. And at the same time, I'm like, but budget, do I really need that? Or am I going to save that, $400+ for another figure that's going to be a new figure that they haven't released from anything before? Right. Or like, down the road, we're going to get the new Captain America, or the Red Hulk, right? I would rather pick up something like that.
Gotcha.
So that's kind of how I'm thinking. So you kind of have to project at least forward a little bit. And then, of course, you got the one-offs that you never know if Hot Toys is going to do it.
Correct.
Like the Prey figure from that Predator prequel, right? There's no way I was going to pass on that. The John Wicks, right? So you've got to be prepared for those. Yeah.
Now, question for you. So, Eric, how are you, my friend? Welcome.
Hello.
So, question for you. So now, because I've noticed, we got Ryan in the house. Welcome, my friend.
I'm doing.
Uncarded is just saying, look at the massive stack of brown boxes. My Maja cases apparently are either at sea right now, or they're like almost at a warehouse. So at some point, I'm going to have to relocate when we do the stream, because I'm probably going to start putting the Maja cases in. And at that point, all those boxes, I'm hoping, are Maybe they'll go to the garbage. I don't know.
Don't you dare. So the reason, so it's funny that you bring this up because I wanted to talk about something that nobody has thought about yet. Remember that every time there's a specific line of Iron Man figures made, there's always one more style of figure that is always added to the line for whatever reason, just because it's just part of the suits, right? And again, nobody thinks about it until the figure is announced, and you're like, "Oh my god, this looks incredible." What mark is that? Please tell me if you know.
What mark? It's usually one of the big ones. It's a
big one, correct? It's a big one. Yes,
it's like either the Mark III or the Mark VI. I feel like, or the Mark VII. Sorry,
War Machine.
Oh, War Machine.
So, guys, we've gotten a black and gold Mark VII diecast. We've got a Mark III red and chrome diecast. We got, what did we get for the Neon Tech?
We got the gantry.
We got the blue one.
Right.
We got the Mark 6, which was the yellow one.
Right.
We got the orange one, which was War Machine.
Right. Which one came with the gantry? Because they did the Neon Tech gantry too.
They did the blue neon at the Mark IV 2.0 with the gantry.
With the gantry, right.
Right. So it wasn't a 2.0. It was just an updated version with the gantry and then the exclusive faceplate. The second faceplate. Right. But anyway, my whole point to bring this up was we're getting a War Machine with this paint application. What color are they choosing? Who knows? But that figure is coming. You heard it here first because nobody has talked about that ever.
Right. But that's the thing, right? Even if that comes, that's going to look gorgeous. It's going to look stunning.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because of the massive...
But that's when that moment is going to hit, and it's going to be like, do I plop down $400 for a figure that's not part of the cinematic universe? I think
that's what makes it easier for some collectors, right? A lot of people are very deep in movies only. I only want what's in the movie. I don't want anything else. So that makes it easier for a collector that collects that way, right? Yeah. But if you are easily appealed by or easily enticed by anything and everything, that's when it gets a little tougher. And then if you don't have the resources to get anything, then that's when you're like, oh man, like that really hurts. That's when
I'll give you an example for that too, because even with the Marvel stuff, I passed on all the What If figures, right? The Captain Carter. I would have loved to have Captain Carter, but the animated style.
Let me tell you something.
I passed on.
Let me tell you something. I have the entire line. I have the Hydra Stomper with the Steve. I have the Ultron. I have the
Captain Carter.
And that's it. That was the whole line, right? They're supposed to make Star-Lord, T'Chaka, Star-Lord, and whatever else.
Right.
I can tell you this. The best figure out of that whole line is Ultron. And it's a very, very cheap line. Cheap in the sense of it feels cheap. It looks cheap. The Captain Carter suit is very nice. The Spider-Man, the Spider-Man, the zombie, zombie
with the Doctor Strange cape,
zombie hunter, Spider-Man. That figure is dirt cheap. Like that feels like crap. It looks that material of suit, very, very cheap. And obviously you have to add the cape to make it look fancier, but even the cape is very blah, right? So when you get lines like that and you have to be picky, I feel like those lines are the ones that you could easily disregard. Right. But you won't know that until you have them in hand. And that's what gets people. And that's why.
And that's a decision you have to make early. And that's why you're taking a chance, right? And like you said, you are taking a chance that for me, that I decided off the bat, I'm going to pass on those. But you are taking a chance that those are really good figures that are going to look great. And that later on, you're going to say, look, there's a chance that one of those might be a big hit that you can't get anymore. And you're going to kind of be kicking yourself saying, should have. Right. But that's part of the game, collecting wise. And look, when we talk about this, and I'm going to, just because it's fresh in my mind, those Fallout figures we were talking about, they're from a video game, but there's the TV show on Amazon Prime that's really great. Right. And the thing is, now you link the two, and it's like they were both made by Bethesda, or Bethesda was involved with the show. So what you're seeing on screen is very similar to what you're seeing on the games, which is very similar to the figures that you're getting from 3.0. So all of a sudden, that gap that you were talking about, where it's like it's very easy to pass on something like that, if it looks very animated, it's like, well, it actually kind of looks like what's on screen.
Right.
So for me to have a representation from that show, it starts becoming kind of like, oh, again, the collector and the addict in you, right, starts saying, I can kind of justify getting that for myself at this point.
And another thing, and this is where I go with the budget too. We all have limited budgets, but when there's something that is out there, whether it's announced, teased, it just came out, and it's really appealing to you, you will figure out whatever it is that you need to do to get that piece. Right. Period, point blank. In the story, it doesn't matter if it goes over budget. It doesn't matter if you have to cancel the things, and that's when it gets tough. That's when it's like, man, I already had this set up. I didn't expect this one-off to come out. Now what? And that's what makes it harder on people. Matt Planner, how are you, my friend?
Hello!
43 of you guys didn't hit that like button, please, if you don't mind. Look at that. Unbelievable. Chadwick, welcome. How are you, my friend? Thank you for being here.
I'm doing.
You're watching, but only 25. Yeah, see? 25 likes. Guys, hit that like button. Don't be peasants. Don't be peasants. All right, so we're going to get started, guys, with obviously the last released figure, which was Thrawn. Like I told you earlier, guys, I never pre-ordered this figure. I just bought it a couple days ago. I got it at a discount plus 10% off, which I was very excited about. I probably won't get this figure until 2029, but it's okay because I saved some money. But besides that, Rudy, you never got to speak on the figure. I don't know if you ordered the figure, but tell us how you feel about the figure, how you like the final product. Are you happy with it? Would you change anything? And does it bother you that he lost weight for the figure?
So I know I definitely pre-ordered this, right? This was, again, like I just mentioned, it was this little lull period where I was able to jump into Hot Toy Star Wars a little bit, and the Ahsoka line was coming up right when that happened, so I ordered a bunch of those. And Thrawn, I don't know Thrawn from the cartoons, from, what is it, Rebels?
Right.
I think is the cartoon.
Yeah.
I know him from the books, from the Thrawn trilogy that came out years ago. So I read those books. He was a great character. So I always kind of gravitated towards the character. So when he started showing up in The Mandalorian, right, they started kind of alluding to him. And then he's going to show up in Ahsoka. I was like, I needed to have him, right? And I have that old, you remember the old Sideshow one that came in that had the
like
command?
It's like super tiny with the worm.
Oh my God. It has
got
the
a
worm.
it's got a big head too, I think.
It's got a big head. Yeah. The clothing, the fabric on is so thick.
Yep.
You can't pose it. It's cheap. It looks terrible.
Cheap,
I still have it, right? So I needed an upgrade. I got it, and I needed an upgrade. So I wasn't going to pass on him. I think he looks great, right? On the show, he was okay on the show.
I think it was very mild on the show.
He didn't do much, right? He was kind of like there was a presence to him, but he didn't do much. So I'm looking forward to see how that character develops. But it was Thrawn. He looked good. I don't mind that Hot Toys decided to tweak him a little bit and make him a little skinnier.
Do you think that's a big deal? Do you think that do you really need that fat belly?
No,
right?
No. For me, it doesn't matter. The sculpt looks great. The suit, the uniform looks great, and that diorama base actually looks pretty cool. The hologram.
Yeah, this is very nice. You get the table too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you get everything. So I'm like, there's no way. This is a great looking figure, and I'm looking forward to getting him.
No, this is.
But I had him on payment plan, and I actually switched him to full payment, hoping that Sideshow will ship him a little bit earlier.
Get him soon.
At this point, yeah.
Yeah, no, the paint application.
Look at
I love the eyes, man. The eyes.
I was about to mention that. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. That looks creepy as hell. That looks evil as hell. That bright blue that they put on him, that like Cad Bane. You know what I mean?
Well, he's gonna look like he can go with Jake Sully with my Avatar figures.
Oh, true. That's true.
But even go back,
ride him. Go back way.
go back to that tablet. Even the tablet, man.
Yeah,
that tablet looks fancy.
Very detailed.
that looks pretty cool. I mean, I know I'm getting usually it's not the most exciting of accessories. It's a tablet.
No, but it
Right,
looks
but
like it looks
looks
real.
good.
Yeah, it looks real. It looks like that's an actual screen.
Right.
know?
It looks great. So I'm glad I ordered him, and I'm looking forward to getting him in hand. I think he turned out great.
Now, for guys, don't forget to hit that like button, please. What about any other characters from Ahsoka? What else are you
I
getting?
got I've got him. I've got Ahsoka. I've got Sabine Wren. Hera.
You got White Ahsoka.
White Ahsoka, yeah. Then I got Hera Syndulla. Who else?
You got everybody. That's everybody.
And then the two guys. They're not the Sith people, but
what's her name?
the
guy and the girl. The guy and the girl.
Right. The only ones I didn't order were the little droid.
Shin and what's his name?
Shin and Balin.
And Balin, yeah.
So I got him. The only ones I didn't order were the little droid, because part of me doesn't want to pay him that much. I didn't order Chopper, although I hear he's a mass murderer. Apparently, one of my friends was telling me he's like the droid with the most murders in Star Wars history. I didn't order Captain Enoch because I thought I could get him. I still think I'm going to be able to pick him up when he drops.
I think so too.
I know Sideshow's got him waitlisted, but I think I'm going to be able to pick him up. And the Last Inquisitor. Marek.
Yeah.
I even though he's on waitlist, I didn't pre-order those because I think I'm going to get them for a deal later on. I'm taking the chance on those.
Yeah, I don't think I pre-ordered any of those two, to be honest. And so I don't think I have pre-ordered White Ahsoka at least yet. I don't think I've pre-ordered Hera. Maybe I did. I just don't remember.
So I've got a lot of the line pre-ordered. The only ones were, again, Chopper, those two figures, Captain Enoch and the Remnant Trooper. I didn't order because I think I'm gonna get those cheaper. And the ones I'm definitely not gonna get are the Anakin and the young Ahsoka. And not because there's an issue with the figures. They look great, but they were just, I'm getting a lot from the line. I don't feel that I need to get those two from the back, from the.
Wait, so you're not getting young Ahsoka because you don't collect children? Because of that reason, or
don't go there. Stop with that. Stop with that. No, I got the Stranger Things kids from 3-0, man. Come on, I got the Harry Potter ones coming in. There's nothing wrong. Look,
I'm not accusing you of anything. I was just asking. I don't know if you're weird or not.
No. Come on, they're 6-scale figures, man. Come on, and it's based on like
it's just so funny how people take toys to like a different level. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's so crazy.
Like, look, if you see those things and you think anything other than they're a toy and a representation from like a show or a movie, it's like, come on, But that's
SJC. Welcome.
Hello.
Continue.
No, sorry. That was my little rant. Like, I get those figures, and it's like they're figures, right? They're little figures, but to me, they're a representation of a great story, right? Stranger Things, awesome TV show. Harry Potter, I love those movies. My kids love them. So to have those characters, it's great to have it, but it's like, come on. Let's not get weird about this stuff.
Thomas Jones says someone is a tad defensive, huh? Thomas Jones, he came back with a vengeance. Look at him.
Oh my God, man.
He hasn't been here in like 3.5 months, but he's back.
Oh my God, Thor.
Rudy, today's stream was brought to you by the letter P.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable. All right, so 1 to 10, Rudy, and also articulation-wise, do you expect much or not really?
I mean, he looks like he can articulate well, but he's not going to be a dynamic figure, right?
Right.
He's a Grand Admiral. You're going to have him posed. I don't even think I'm going to have him with the blaster. I think I'm going to have him with the tablet looking over that display.
See, he didn't even pull the gun out on the show, number one.
No.
So I don't know. I mean, I still got to give him some action or hold that pistol, but I think.
Well, when I do the pictures, I'll do the same, but and my review, but.
I think the tablet is more classy than the gun. You know what I mean?
And again, right? He's a Grand Admiral. He's supposed to be like the tactician. He's supposed to be thinking. He's not a guy that's going to get into the physical action. He could if he needed to, but I mean, I think he looks classy. I don't think he needs to be all that insanity.
Joker J.
Wrong. It's 3,600, Joker J.
Imagine. So now, next topic, guys. So I wanted to bring this up because this is very important. We don't know what the hell's going on. We don't know when these things are coming. So the reason why I want to talk about this is because obviously, as you just saw, Thrawn is out. So out of everybody here, the only one that's out is Thrawn. So, Rudy, what do you think is going on with the delays? Why do you think they're being delayed? What, especially Obi-Wan, what do you think is going on? Do you think so? My thing is, and I've said this before, I think what's happening is they purposely delay figures. Because again, remember that delays happen every single year. Okay.
Right.
Like clockwork, one way or another, there's always delays. Period. Is just what it is. I started picking up, and delays just started happening, within the past, I want to say 5 years, 6 years. Because I remember when Hot Toys wasn't making any, or at least making as many, there were never delays. It was the figure was out and it's shipping and that's it. There was never,
Right.
This is delayed or right. This only started happening recently, fairly recently. And obviously because of the amount of figures that now they're making a year, right? They're making plenty.
The only two major delays I remember, like major delays, and it was probably because of design issues, right? And no, it was because of design issues where you remember the original Hulkbuster went back to the drawing board and they redid that whole thing to fit the full figure in, and that got delayed by a year and a half. And the other one, that the longest pre-order I had at the time was you remember from what was it from that movie, that Disney movie, where they go into the computer, Tron Legacy, the bike. That bike kept getting delayed over and over and over again.
Yeah, I don't remember that getting delayed, and I have it from Sideshow. I just don't remember.
That one got delayed forever. I think that took like 2.5 years to get dropped. But that was it, right? So there were definitely some design issues.
How long ago was that?
It was a while ago though. Those
was that over like 7-8 years? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's why
it wasn't a frequent thing. It wasn't a frequent thing, and it was only with a figure here and there. That's why maybe I didn't even notice it.
Right, and again, those were like the Hulkbuster itself was an engineering marvel, right?
Right.
And then that bike, I think the way they were trying to do it successfully to make it work, I think it probably took them some time to get that right. So the pieces they were delaying were pieces that kind of made sense, right? It wasn't just a figure that was getting delayed here and there. Whereas now you're right. I think now you're seeing. I think it's more a function of the quantity that Hot Toys is putting out there, that some figures are just getting delayed. But then you get a figure like Thrawn that's pushed forward. So maybe there was a slot open or where they were able to fit a simpler figure like that doesn't really involve much beyond the sculpt.
See, I think the reason why, at least within the past, again, I don't really remember exactly, so I have to be careful with what I say. But I want to say I noticed this year specifically, with the amount of pre-orders that we got just out of left field that nobody expected, right? Number two, remember that a lot of these pre-orders were ready to go. They're shipping already, right? So they shoved them in between a bunch of other things that were supposed to be shipping or charging soon because they were about to be released. And so what I think Hot Toys is doing is they're shoving stuff in between the time period of things coming out to be released so they can make that quick buck before things are released. And they're just sitting up in the air waiting to announce other things. William, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the conversation we're having right now?
Well, I really want my Obi-Wan to come out.
Me too, man.
What is your take on why you think this is taking so long?
What, just him specifically?
Right, him specifically.
I think because everyone got mad about mustache lip.
So you think that they're gonna redesign the way he looks? I don't think so.
Why not?
They've done it
before he ships. Right before he ships.
But we've seen it with like was it Mantis with Rocket right before the blogger picks dropped.
didn't find out about Mantis's redo until right before.
Oh, until she was that. That's true.
Right, both of those, Rocket and Mantis, they dropped the
Right.
pictures.
But-
We're retooling the head sculpt, and then like the next day they dropped the figures. So
how shitty they looked when Tony Stank,
Toby Stank.
and it was like, oh shit, we try to fix this, and so it's the shipping after the fact and all that stuff, the logistics, the extra costs and everything is more expensive than just delaying the figure and working on the sculpt and being like, okay, this is what's going to happen, this is our final product, this is what's shipping. And instead, if they send out a shitty one and then you have all the complainers, the whiners, the returners, all the other stuff, and then if they do like the Tony Stank head where it's like, okay, we're going to send out a replacement head that now we did all this other work on, and it'll be a 1-for-1 swap type of thing, but it's we're paying for the shipping, don't worry. And it's like doing all that extra stuff, it's their bottom line gets thinner, and obviously I believe that they're trying to avoid that with Han Solo, with
Obi-Wan
on Kenobi, because of the fact that he didn't blow anybody's skirts up when they showed the first in-person pics.
Gotcha.
Because like the promo pics for the pre-order, it was like, okay, like it didn't look as crazy as it did the first time they showed it in person, and the weird mustache, upper lip, slightly open mouth thing was just like, is that a mustache? Is that like severely sunburned from being on Tatooine for all these years? Like, what's wrong with his lip? Like, when it gets all chapped.
Yeah.
And so it was just, it was. I feel like they're like, all right, we want this to be a knockout of the park, and
that makes sense. I'm with you on that, but I didn't think of it at all. I didn't think that they would, because think about it. Yes, they've done it with Mantis. Yes, they've done it with Rocket. Think about it though. I would understand Mantis. It's an easier head sculpt to tweak. There's not much texture. There's not much anything on it. Rocket is, all texture, and Obi-Wan's beard, and if the issue is the mouth and the beard, it's all texture. So obviously Rocket is a smaller head sculpt to fix. It's a smaller thing to fix. Obviously, I would assume that it's a little bit more difficult being smaller. But with Obi-Wan, it never crossed my mind that, it's delayed because they could be fixing it, because I completely forgot that was an issue with the figure. Rudy, do you agree with William?
Yeah, I've been thinking the same thing, because specifically because what we said, the Rocket and the Mantis. I get your point that it might have been easier to do, but I also think this Obi-Wan is something that they're trying to really get right. So I think William is totally right. I think that's why that figure's gotten delayed as much as it does. I mean, we could be wrong, right? And it drops and nothing's changed, but I have a feeling the trend that they've kind of established lately, which is here's the updates to the sculpt that nobody knew you were working on, and here's the figure. So I think that's what we're going to get with that particular release.
And now going back to you, William, what is the one figure from this lineup that you're most excited about for it to be released?
The Obi-Wan.
That's the only one?
You said most excited.
Right, but you're not getting like, for example, Tech, right? Everybody's excited for Tech because they finally get to finish the lineup.
Yeah, that he's the second most wanted out of the.
He's the second most wanted.
Right now, I have a little hologram of Tech in mind, like an in memoriam thing, because they killed that mother at the end of season 2.
Oh,
they killed him
at the end of season 2.
Oh no! So he's gonna be the most valuable one now. Watch.
And
they're only gonna do like 20 of them.
I know. I know.
3, everyone kept. There was all the conspiracy theory. Oh, he's coming back. He's the assassin clone that's wearing the helmet all the time. No, it was not. He died. He fell off of a train like way up there and disappeared.
But in Star Wars, nobody ever dies though.
Oh, that's not true.
He said, "Oh, that's not
They
true."
die in PG ways, but they die.
Rudy, what about you? Your top two.
Top one is gonna be this Star-Lord. As a Marvel
Star-Lord.
fan, I have to go with Star-Lord.
Right.
And then the second one is actually Obi-Wan. I'm psyched for that Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan. See, believe it or not, I'm excited for the Joker, like badly for the Joker. Okay.
Wait, did you get the imposter version?
Yeah.
Has that shipped for you yet or no?
No. Not at all. I haven't even got a notification on it or anything.
Right, because I seen people getting it in hand, so it should be shipping.
Oh no, yeah, I hope so. No, I didn't get nothing, but I did get it on Sideshow. But William has
from Sideshow. They're from the Hong Kong sellers.
Oh, okay, that's why. And so I don't know about. I'm going to say Tech because Tech, like I said, he's going to finish the line. He looks really good too. I like his suit a lot. I haven't really paid attention to it much. Obviously since the figure was announced. But those are the two that I want: Joker and the Tech figure, just because. And Thrawn too. Thrawn would be third, just because of the, he's still different. You know what I mean?
Thrawn for me is 3. It's those orders. It's Star-Lord, Obi-Wan, and Thrawn. I'm really excited about.
Qui-Gon Jinn disagrees with you, Fabs. Qui-Gon Jinn, this guy, unbelievable. All right, so guys, I don't know if you guys saw this, but. We went over it on what do you call it, on Saturday, but I want because this was from Rudy, so I want Rudy and William to give us their takes on what they think of this. So obviously this is not 1/6. This is Beast Kingdom. I believe they're 6-inch figures
or 8-inch or something. They're like
so
not
just a
quite.
different scale,
right?
So as you can see, guys, we got Batman Returns, we got Catwoman, and we got the Penguin. So, Rudy, tell us why you think this is important to point out.
When I saw this, the first of all, it's not the first, right? So now we know Jazz Inc. is doing it. We know now Beast Kingdom is doing this. We know J&D was doing the statues, the 3rd scale Selena Kyle statues that have a likeness to Michelle Pfeiffer, right? So you're starting to see a lot of this Batman Returns product coming into play. So I think that's what made it interesting to me. It's like if all these companies are starting to kind of jump onto the bandwagon, what can we expect, right? Can we expect? Obviously, the big question is Hot Toys going to jump into this, right? And the only reason I think there's a chance they might do that is they tease that Batman Returns Batman figure, right? The 2.0 at one of those at one of their shows. So it just opens the door to Hot Toys getting back into Batman Returns. And if the Michelle Pfeiffer stuff is up for grabs and the Danny DeVito one is up for grabs, even though I know that one's, according to Jazz Inc., it's not that hard to get, right? So if it's not that hard to get and there's money to be made, I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that we could get a Hot Toys version of those guys.
William, how do you feel about this? Do you think there's a possibility that Hot Toys, just to destroy the King Jazz Inc., will make this Catwoman?
I believe that would be a strong possibility because Sideshow does have a track record in the past of being like, oh, you're putting this out, we should put this out. We have that license, or we can renew that license, or, let's do it. And if there's money on the table to be had, I would rather have 2 or 3 choices of the same figure than only one and hope that it's the most amazing thing ever.
Yeah, but even if you had one choice, you're not just going to jump at that one, especially as far, me knowing you and how you collect, I don't think you would just jump on the one that's available.
You mean if it was only Jazz Inc.?
Correct.
Well, especially having never seen a 1/6 scale Jazz Inc. figure in hand, at least, it was just like how everybody with the in-art Joker when it was like, these are going to be amazing based off of the pictures. And, the head sculpts look real nice when they came out. But, there still is a little difference between, professionally done production shots and in-hand stuff. And so with, her, all we're seeing so far, all I've seen are the 3D renderings. I've seen a couple little heads, like 3 heads done up on the little toothpick looking stands for painting. But it's, doing a custom run, like let's say like Rocco the sculptor or a couple other people doing like 5 or 10 heads and doing 1,000,
Right.
since they're all done by hand. It's whoever's their painter is that's doing the Selena Kyle paint job for the production one is, I think it's a semi well-known name. And when they shared pictures the other day, everyone was freaking out because there was head sculpts of Snake Plissken on the table, and they thought that meant that Jazz Inc. was doing whatever. And the painter was like, no, I work for several companies, and these are just on my desk. Sorry. Like, like,
because peasants get so excited for garbage.
Well, right. It's like because they were like,
Wait,
yes.
Snake Plissken is not garbage. Let's get that right. Come on.
It's not. But it was, there's that painter is doing a licensed statue for a different company.
Right.
And like if it was Juice and his pictures, yeah, anything in the background is a potential, Easter egg or something like that. But somebody else who's been painting for God knows how many hours, and they're in the zone, and they're like, let's snap a couple little pictures of this real quick.
Right.
It's just like when I first got into photography, I wasn't thinking about the background as much as I should, because if you don't set the whole scene first, then you have to fix things in post, as opposed to just having it ready in camera.
Right.
And a painter is going to show you what they're painting. And people were like, "Oh my God, Snake Plissken!" And like they were, and they were arguing in the comments. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Why would it be there if it wasn't? And it's like, well,
peasants. Say peasants. Peasants. That's peasant. That's peasant attitude. That's peasant actions. That's peasant. That's peasant right there. That's peasant 101. Okay.
Look, though, I'm not gonna lie. Remember that video that Justin put out when he went into InArt's thing, and he they had to edit out the thing, but he took pictures of people's desks where they had all
strands for the
that video. No,
the other one. But I remember pausing that and being like, "Ooh, look at what InArt's working on. InArt's doing all this stuff."
Yeah, trash. All right, guys. So now, also very quickly, something that it might interest you, Rudy. So it looks like we may get, at least I think, we're getting a diecast Ultron figure. Some of you guys said no on Saturday. I want to get your take on it. Let's go with you, William. What do you think of the possibility of this Ultron coming from the new series?
I think a really strong possibility of Ultron himself. Have any of the other Ultrons been? The Infinity War Ultron was diecast, so it wouldn't be the first time that they've done a diecast Ultron.
Wait, the what if Ultron,
what if was diecast?
The
yeah.
what if is diecast?
Isn't that what I just said?
You said Infinity War.
Oh,
thank you. I'm glad you're here, Rudy, because any other time he would have lost his mind saying that he said something what he didn't say. So I'm glad that you were here listening, because it would have been
yourself, not me.
What?
You're talking about yourself right now.
You're talking about yourself.
But yeah, I meant to say the what if one, the one that has the Infinity Stones in the armor.
Yes.
That one was diecast. So yeah, I could definitely see a diecast Ultron coming out, because even if they just reused exactly the Age of Ultron Prime or whatever and did it as diecast, it's still new,
right,
because it's it's just like having Sideshow plastic Grievous versus Hot Toys
correct
diecast Grievous. It's going to be apples to oranges, not apples to apples. And it's going to be like, that one now looks plastic in your
Right.
case,
Right.
and this one will be diecast. So, them bringing back Ultron, I think, is a smart move.
Yeah.
Because it's one of those things with Marvel Comics, well, comic book movies in general. Over the years, like look at all the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. They killed every villain that came out.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Because
it's ridiculous.
that's the classic formula for an action movie.
Right.
Hero versus villain, villain dies.
No matter what.
Yeah, and that's good versus evil. Good wins by killing evil, or evil dying because they're evil. And it's counterproductive to long-term storytelling, because Marvel Comics, these villains come back, and so every time they would have a villain and they would kill him, it was just same thing with like Batman, like
I was just gonna say, when Batman says, I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you, type stuff.
well, right, but I'm just talking about, let's go back to Michael Keaton. Jack Nicholson was the Joker. He died at the end of the first movie. And then you have Batman Returns, Max Schreck died, smaller villain. The Penguin
died.
And then they made you think that Selena was dead, but then they showed her head come up before the bat signal.
Credits,
Yeah. And so it was like, they killed the Penguin, who's, arguably the second or third most famous Batman villain.
Right.
And so I was surprised, like Batman Forever, they killed Two-Face. And then, then they hospitalized the Riddler, being a nut job, just Jim Carrey in real life.
In Arkham.
And then and then Batman and Robin, the only one where they didn't kill all the villains.
They end up in jail, right? Together.
Right. And because that's
at Arkham.
That's comic storytelling. It's
right.
That's Batman capturing the bad guys. And
Right. That's what I liked about the Matt Reeves Batman that just came out, right? Which is the Riddler doesn't get killed. You kind of have the Joker in jail already.
Arkham.
Right. And then Penguin, right? He's still there. And I mean, that's where we're getting that series, which is great because it's really developing the characters, and they're really developing a full world and storyline.
They're making you fall in love with him because he clearly is gonna have a huge role in the next one. So that's why they have to shove him down your throat. Well, Derek, how are you, my friend? Welcome.
I think it's also just to make use of the Academy Award-winning actor that they had in effect in the first movie. When we went to watch the movie in the theater, they had the little thing at the beginning where it showed, like, it was like a little interview thing, because we went to like one of the early screenings, and it had Colin Farrell and Edward the Vampire and all that. They were having their little conversation. Do you get the joke from Twilight, Fabs? Okay.
Yeah. You've never watched it?
Robert Pattinson played a sparkly vampire.
I know the movies. I just never seen them.
Right, but it had Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz and Colin Farrell, and Evie was like, "Why is Colin Farrell up there?" And I'm like, "That's Penguin," and she was like, "No way!"
They did a great job with his face.
Like, that's the point, because Colin Farrell is a pretty good-looking dude, no Diddy, and I'm just,
oh man.
If you have eyes.
This is William right now.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
And so when you make him do that with the makeup and the movie magic and everything else, it really immerses you into the character, because you're literally seeing the Penguin. It's not, Colin Farrell being like when Colin Farrell was Bullseye in the Daredevil movie, it was like, that's just Colin Farrell with a buzz.
With just like the bullseye and everything, right? It was just
and it was just like, I get it. They were going over the top, and they killed Bullseye in that movie too. Back to that same.
Wait, did they, or doesn't he survive? And at the end, he flicks like the.
That's right. Because they were doing the adamantium skeleton thing that they did for Bullseye. You're right. You're right.
So now we got Harold correcting you, number one. Rudy correcting you, number two.
Yes.
Are you not paying attention? Is this like your way of telling us you're not collecting really anymore? That you're falling off with the knowledge, or?
Yes.
Stop it. Stop it.
Yes.
Yes. Stop
he
it.
said yes. Also, guys, we have some news about the new Batman logo, and it looks like this. Okay? So James Gunn decides to remake the Batman logo, and I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. This does not look like a Batman logo to me at all.
Gunn that did this. This is Jim Lee comic book art.
Oh, okay,
Right.
so
And that's why he even said that. No, he said it at the bottom because somebody's like, "Why did you do this?" And then he's like, "I have no jurisdiction over this this change." You know.
So well, this is what's supposed to be used for his stuff, isn't it?
No, this is for the
it's not.
comics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So go ahead, Rudy. How do you feel about something like this?
I mean, I don't know. That looks weird. Why would you do that? I mean, look, I get that you want to update the.
If you saw this on a comic book, would you immediately think this is Batman?
Like, if I see it just like that, no.
Just like that.
If I see it on his suit, okay, I'm gonna figure that that's the new Batman.
No. If you saw a comic book
Just like
cover
that?
just
No.
like that, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a new Batman." Never.
Not immediately, no.
Right, never.
Nope.
So, how do you feel about this? Why do you think somebody would make something like this when it doesn't look like Batman at all?
I don't know. They always want to keep tweaking things, right? Everybody wants to come up with their own design, and I think this is just a fail. Like, this doesn't look good at all.
Rudy said, "Would you like us at an epic with that fail?" William, what about you?
I think it's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life.
All right. First of all, don't be racist on the stream, and two, how do you go from having all of these, okay, looking super sexy, again, all different, but you can always see that it's Batman. No matter what shape, no matter what color, you always see a bat. Except, I don't know what the hell this is. It looks like a guy balancing something. Oh, it's probably Luch balancing all day. He's holding a balance. That's why Luch is always balancing. So as you can see, from 1943 all the way down to 2021, every single Batman single ever made, whether it was comic book, whether it was animated series, whether it was movies, here they are. What is your favorite one, William, and why?
My favorite Batman symbol ever?
Ever. Or your top three?
That's hard.
That is hard.
The Batman Returns logo with the gold and I like that more than the 89 one where they did the weird tweaking of the bottom of the bat for whatever reason. There was allegedly some reason that Tim Burton did it, but obviously they course corrected with Batman Returns to have the more traditional pointy bottom of the wings and stuff instead of like the weird little shape that they had. But that one, I really like the Affleck bat symbol, which kind of looks like, a little bit of what they were going for with the new one, and where they just were like, where you took a little slider in Photoshop, and instead of like going down a little bit or up a little bit, they went
made it straight
to the end, and it was like, whoa. But yeah, definitely not that one. Yeah, it's hard to give you there's been so many just classic black bat symbols, because you say this is all the symbols, but there's symbols from comics and stuff where it's just like a different, like a plain bat on the chest type of thing. Like,
well, these are the most popular, I'm assuming.
Well, I'm zooming in.
Because you even have Batman Beyond, right? Those are the red ones.
These are Batman Beyond.
But I don't think they have the Dark Knight Returns, unless that's supposed to be 89 with that weird the wide one.
This one?
89. There's years.
89. Yeah, I've been here 10 minutes.
That's
89.
Okay, whatever.
Exactly.
Shut up. I have to zoom in on my phone on your little itty bitty ass picture.
I'm on a computer. You're on a phone, and you're blaming my computer. Unbelievable. Yeah. See, unbelievable. This is
Stop
what happens.
Gaslighting me.
Gaslighting me. We have a question here from SJC. He says, Thoughts on Rio 888? I haven't seen that one. Is that new one? That exclusive one? And we are getting into Mondo Poison Ivy as well because Rudy sent the image for that. So we will get into that in a second. I don't know what Ryu 888 is, but if somebody has an image, send it to me so I could pull it up because I don't know what that is. I know there's an exclusive Ryu that came out by Iconic, I believe.
I think that's what they're talking about, right?
Okay,
Right,
yeah.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
Okay, it's an exclusive
Because they put out
bearded.
and like, we promise we're not making them again, but we can make a different version.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. So it's the bearded version Ryu exclusive. It's a limited edition figure. I did see that. They only have one picture out of him though, like the tease photo of it.
Yeah,
It's not even like, it's just like the chest.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I saw. So that's why I didn't even get into it because there's nothing to talk about. And so Rudy, so which one's your favorite?
I don't know, like as a cinematic person, I think 92. I really like the 92, like William said. For some reason, I do like Batman 1989, but Batman Returns with the creepy penguin was definitely always a personal favorite. I think that's the best one. And then I like the Affleck one too.
Which
like
one?
the Ben Affleck.
The fat one?
Yeah.
These right
The
here,
ones
these.
from those.
These.
Yeah. I like those because I can almost see what you're saying, William, where it was like they try to kind of recreate a version of that symbol, but even though these are stockier and fatter, they just missed the boat completely on those. So, yeah, I think those are mine.
I want the iconic Akuma. So yeah, I almost got him too because I love Akuma, but I didn't get anybody. I didn't get Ryu. I was gonna get Ken because he's my favorite. I didn't even bother with Ken. So
see, that goes back into the conversation about these lines, right? Sometimes you want to pick up some of these things.
Well, here's the thing. For those who were watching me from the moment that those figures were teased, I was all in on all of them. I was like, I wanted to, I've always wanted somebody to make Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat in 1/6. And immediately, as soon as someone was like, "Oh," I was like, "That's cool." But the one thing that was holding me back the entire time was that, to me, there were kit bashes, right? So you had a TB League body, right? Obviously, it was specifically made for these figures. That's why they're reused for Ryu, Ken, and Akuma. So to me, I'm like, what are we paying for here? We're paying for a generic body that they made for these figures, and they're going to reuse them as much as possible. Different outfits, animated head sculpts, and that's it. I said, for the amount of money that they're charging, I said, absolutely not. So then I waited for Ken. It's literally the same thing 3 times, different colored outfits. I was like, I am not doing it. And I said, let me just get Ken because he's always been my favorite. And when the thing came out, it was ready to charge from Sideshow. I was like, do I really need this? I was like, absolutely not. And because of the fact that I wasn't getting the other 2, I was like, I am not going to get just a single one when I know that there's 2 more out there to complete this line and there's more coming. That's why I didn't bother. But it had nothing to do with, the money or whatever. It's just the figure itself, to me, was like, is this really necessary? They look great. They look cool. But because there was nothing special to them, I was like, nah, it's not worth it for me. If they were cheaper, if they would have been, 170, cool.
How much are they going for?
Oh, two.
I think they're 300 straight up.
There you go. So
300.
I was gonna say 290 something. Yeah, I was gonna say 290
Ooh.
or 280 something or 290 something. No, they're very expensive.
They're
for what
pricey,
they are.
yeah.
So that's why it made it that much easier. And I love Street Fighter. My favorite. I'm gonna tell you why my favorite Street Fighter is one of my favorite games of all time. When I came to the U.S. as a kid, 9 years old,
Yeah.
My parents used to work at a restaurant, and right across the street there was like a diner, and that diner had an arcade, and the arcade happened to be Street Fighter 2. Let me tell you something. I would come home from school, and whenever they would give me quarters, or whenever I would find quarters, or whenever I had a quarter, I would be, because after school we couldn't go home because my parents were working, so we would go to the restaurant and we would hang out there all day until we all went home. And I would be at the arcade. Whenever I had a quarter, I would be at the arcade playing Street Fighter. So I ended up loving that game. So when I get my Super Nintendo that year, it was 1992, December 22nd or 20 or 22nd when I arrived to the US. And then for Christmas, I got my first Super Nintendo. and that was one of the games I got for the console was Street Fighter 2. That was my very first game, obviously, besides Mario World, that comes with the Super Nintendo, and I've been in love with that. And then after that was Mortal Kombat. So I've always loved these lines, these franchises, and I've always wanted somebody to make them in 1/6. I have the figures that were made in 1/6 by the Mortal Kombat figures. I forget what the company is. It was another third-party company. The figures
Storm
were
Collectibles?
no, it wasn't Storm. Was it Storm? No, it wasn't Storm. We're talking about the new ones. These are older.
Older,
They made 2 Sub-Zeros. They made a Kung Lao, and they made a Scorpion. The lines are very, very decent. Again, very, very old, but those to me are the best Mortal Kombat anything that has been made in 1/6 scale to date. Those are the only ones that I own. So that's why I like them a lot. Now, guys, one more thing that was announced today, at least that was shown today or yesterday. I think it was today. Shout out to Rudy for the picture. So Rudy, we are up to Sonic the Hedgehog number 3, right? In the second one, we saw Knuckles. The first one we saw Tails. And now here we are with Shadow. For those who didn't see the trailer, please go watch the trailer. It looks very good. Rudy, tell us your background with Sonic. Were you a Sega player? I told you I never owned the Sega, just Super Nintendo, like I mentioned. So how do you feel about it?
What did Sega had? They had the portable that came out. That
the Sega Dreamcast. No, the Sega.
No, the Game Gear. Was it the Game Gear?
That Game Gear was way better than any Game Boy ever made. And
right.
Let me tell you something. That I wanted that thing so bad, and it was so cool looking. It was sleek. It was awesome.
So it had, I remember, because it was, remember the Game Boy was the green screen that was basically black and white almost.
Yep.
But and it wasn't even backlit.
Yep.
The Sega Game Gear, right, had all that backlit full like color screen. It was like playing a little console game. But the batteries on those things, it required, I think it needed either 6 or 8 AAA batteries, and they lasted an hour and a half to 2 hours. And then you'd have to drop them and reload. So you needed to basically keep that thing plugged in to have it work, which is the shame. But I played a lot of the games. I think I made it to Knuckles, and then that was it. So I wasn't really familiar with exactly. It killed the batteries.
Well, because you had the best screen, you had the best sound, you had the best everything on that little handheld.
I remember as a little kid, you're like, my batteries are done, and you can imagine my dad, a construction worker, coming in. He's like, I just got you a full set, and those things aren't cheap. What?
Oh man,
it's like, go and plug it in. So they got me the battery pack, which lasted the same. You had to charge that thing all the time. But I made it to Knuckles. So listen, I like the games. They're not maybe to me as iconic as the Mario games, right? Because Mario, we had the console and everything, or Zelda. But I like the games, and I think the movies have been pretty good. I watch them; they're entertaining. They're not the best movies out there, but they're fun. They're fun to watch, and I like that they designed the characters right after the initial backlash with the first one.
Yeah,
that they actually went back and redesigned them to look more like the video game version, because I think that really worked out for them. I think we were talking. The only thing is, if anybody were to make these figures, I would probably pick up the set. Right, they'd be tiny, but I'd pick them up at 6 scale. But nobody's touching this. I don't know that there's a major interest for it, but it looks pretty good.
No, they look good, especially anything in black. I feel like if you had a black Sonic,
or this one Shadow, right? Shadow would look great.
That's what I'm saying. So if you have regular Sonic in blue and white and red, and then you got a black one with red eyes. Beautiful. That alone, that's your variant style of Sonic. That would be beautiful. Carlos, how are you, my friend? Welcome.
Charlie, my friend, Charlie Brigante, how you doing?
He says, just got back from seeing Aliens Romulus. That movie looks good. I'm telling you, that trailer looks very, very good. Very, very good. Echo the Dolphin classic.
That was another game. Yeah, Echo.
Yep, I remember.
I remember what other games they had, but
they had a lot.
Sonic, Echo.
They had a lot. But again, it was the graphics for me. Those graphics were ahead of their time. The way that the scrolling system was so smooth, everything about that Game Gear. There was nothing. I don't remember any complaints about it. Game Boy was way smaller than the Game Gear and everything else, but the Game Gear was my shit. Oh man.
Yeah.
Also, guys, very quickly, and we have some drama, some inner drama before we leave, so don't go anywhere.
No.
But
No.
here we go. This is part 1 of the inner drama. So, William.
Yes.
William. Wait.
Keanu, yeah.
No.
That's Keanu Reeves.
Oh, that's who's playing the voice?
That's Keanu Reeves, yeah.
I didn't know. So William, how do you feel about the movie? How do you feel about the movies? Have you watched the movies? Do you like the movies?
The movies are a barrel of fun.
Yeah.
And in the third one, Jim Carrey is not just playing Dr. Robotnik, he's also playing Dr. Robotnik's father.
Yeah.
I
figured when I saw the trailer. I was like, that's got to be him.
So he's playing an older version. He's going to go nuts. It's like a crazy.
He's going to go nuts twice.
Mirror having the conversation responding to themselves. It's going to be amazing.
So how do you like the fact that they're, how do you know the franchise? Have you played the franchise?
Yes.
How do you like the franchise?
It's awesome.
So you grew up on Sega Genesis.
I grew up playing Sega. Yes.
Oh, nice. So, all right. So how do you feel about the movies and the characters?
Did you see the first movie?
Yes.
Did you see all the online vitriol for the movie before it came out?
No.
So Ugly Sonic.
Yes.
Right.
So you know that character?
You know what happened with the design, the Sonic.
Yeah, I remember they made him, and then everybody complained that he looked ugly and he was like fuzzy, and then they made him more smoother. They fixed the nose and everything.
Teeth and stuff. It was bad.
Right.
And so everyone freaked out, just like Obi-Wan. And then like, all right, we're fixing it. And they reanimated the whole damn thing, and then the movie made a bunch of money.
Right.
Because they actually you have an animated character and you're having an animated version of the character in the movie. You don't need to overhaul the design.
Right.
And so they thankfully went with the classic design, red sneakers,
right,
chili dogs, the whole thing, and found a way to bring it into the real world where, it worked for what it did for the purpose of the story. Because that's the problem with trying to adapt a a cartoon or a video game into a movie. Like, look at the Super Mario Brothers movie from the late or early 90s.
The 90s.
Yeah, with John Leguizamo as Luigi.
Yep.
I'm Luigi Mario. He's Mario. We're the Mario Brothers, and it was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, no, and the Koopa Troopers and all that stuff. Like, it was weird.
Giant ass head or the giant bodies.
Yeah,
with the little head.
Yeah, and
it was like.
And everything and Bowser being like a human, but he's not. Like, it was like a whole thing where it was.
Yep, it was weird.
I just saw your little walk thing. I'm gonna clip that and use that. But I knew exactly what it was as soon as you do that movie. They know what it is.
Oh my god!
Like that was how do we take a successful video game and make it into a movie? And the way they did the newest animated movie, even with Chris Pratt doing the voice, it was successful because they stayed true to the overall theme and mechanics of the game. Right. And when Sonic was first announced and I saw that ugly ass design, it was like, this is a dumb idea. Like, why would you do this? And then thankfully they changed the design. The movie was a lot of fun. The kids liked it. I liked it. Then Sonic 2 was a lot of fun. There's actually a Knuckles series that's on
Paramount Plus, yeah.
Plus, where Idris Elba is still voicing Knuckles and all that. And
nice.
So it's obviously successful enough to keep going with it. Right. But on a slightly related tangent side note, have you seen the Chip and Dale newest animated movie on Disney Plus?
No.
Ugly Sonic is in the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
So they're like on like the convention circuit where like Chip and Dale sign autographs and stuff because they're all like washed up and they don't have stuff going on anymore. And there's people at this con, and Ugly Sonic is one of the people at Comic-Con signing autographs and taking pictures because being the Ugly Sonic that was cut from the other movie. There's like so many cameos. Like,
that's so funny. I gotta see it.
it's only like an hour and a half long, and it's a pretty good movie. It actually has a decent plot. You know, it's obviously a kids movie. It's Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, but I liked it. It was interesting, and yeah. So you get to see
fun movies.
And now, question for you, William. Would you want these figures in 1/6, and who would you want them to make them, if any company specifically?
I don't believe that I would buy it. It would probably look like a Mondo type of figure,
right?
And 1/6 Sonic would be about the size of maybe Rocket Raccoon.
Yeah, they'd be small. They'd be really small
height wise. Because if it was a freaking 6-foot hedgehog, that would be nuts. That would be like
oh my god!
But I'm just.
What about you, Rudy? Who would you want these? What company would you want to make these guys?
As a nice segue to your next topic, I think InArt with the fully rooted hair, right?
And obviously, the deluxe version comes with the Rock.
There you go.
So guys, here we have the King Killer, right? Remember that this company was sold to you guys, was shoved down your throats to you guys by the YouTubers who obviously were linked or are linked to this piece of crap company. So, as you see, guys, the innovation with InArt never stops. As you can see, they are working very hard 24/7 to bring you guys quality and to bring you guys new product. So as you can see here, we have a 1/6 scale Rock base. I don't think he gets any better than this. I don't think there's I've never seen, or at least as far as I've been around, I've never seen such great paint applications, such great detail on rocks. I don't know if it's a limestone. I can't really tell. I don't know if they tell you in the information booklet when you buy this. So Rudy, huh?
It's moissanite.
It's moissanite. So Rudy, I'm sure you remember the conversations on this company in the beginning. You remember what was being said about this company. I don't know if you were watching me at the time, but I was. I don't know if you remember what I've been saying from day one about this company. I've been 100% right about this company from day one, and I've been the only one speaking the truth on this company from day one.
Right.
So, therefore, how do you feel about something like this as a InArt collector? You buy InArt, you're waiting for InArt products right now. As a customer, as a collector, again, hearing that this company was going to be the Hot Toys killer company. Now they're making rocks. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, but I'm with you, right? I think a lot of people were hyping it up, and we've talked about this before in other streams. I think a number of us too that have been collecting for a while realized, look, it's a good product, but you can't compete with what Hot Toys is doing, right? You just can't do that. Now, as far as what they're doing, because this isn't even their product, aren't they? Like kind of
exactly.
It's somebody else's product that they're basically they're slapping the InArt logo on it,
correct,
and they're selling it. So I guess they're now getting into being retailers for
third parties
partners. I mean, right? That's what it seems like.
Yeah, because none of this is licensed. There's nothing licensed about this. There's nothing.
It's an environment. It's an environment.
Correct. So
it's a special ass rock.
I mean, look. Is it something you could use? Sure. Right. I'm sure if you really want a diorama with the Gandalf or the Aragorn, you could use this. Right. They had the other environmental one that might work. But when we look at InArt, you want to get your figures. I mean, has anybody even gotten the Batman yet? I think the Batman is still shipping, right? Aragorn.
I don't understand. It's funny because people at the slightest thing that Hot Toys does, it's the end of the world. But this company, and we're gonna get into another peasant loser apologist for InArt, and this person is always literally balls deep in every group apologizing for Inner as if he had something to apologize for. The company is shit. It'll always be shit, and you can't sit there and blame it. And like I said, we're gonna get into this. I'm going to show you guys the screenshot. It doesn't matter. Go ahead.
No, the only thing I'll say is, I think they should get their figures. Like, look, they're doing decent figures. It seems like. All right, but they should get their distribution right. And then as for The Rock, I mean, okay, they want to distribute for somebody else and partner up with everybody with their deluxe rocks. I mean, okay, fine. You know, I just, it's a little weird to me that they're doing that. Again, I would expect these to be themed to go with the figures, and maybe that's why they're getting them.
So they use this specific rock to have Gandalf sitting on it.
Right. I mean, so if you want that, okay, it's an option.
if you want that,
it's an option. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I'm gonna be like Nefty. I'm gonna ask the questions like, where are the pictures? No.
Where are the pictures?
Sorry, Nefty. Sorry,
Oh
Nefty.
my God.
But no, like, look, if I really had a figure that I really liked and I wanted to do something environmental with it and create a diorama, and they offered this, okay, I might pick it up.
Right, if it's part of it, if it's part of the figure. But who is really going out there looking to buy rocks, looking to take up space in their displays, in their module cases, in their details to put rocks? Yes, obviously some people will. Some people who have enough room, who collect one figure per detail shelf, right? That's where this would look great, when you could actually appreciate the whole thing, not, you know, overcrowded in there with, you know, being covered by other figures. So
look, I think the point is they're going with things that don't necessarily just fit Gandalf, right? Like, you could honestly get the other one that they did was a little bit, or that they sold was a little more impressive, the like creek bed that has a little sliver of water, because you could use that with, they showed it with Aragorn. You could use that with a military figure. Right? You could use that with Walking Dead. You could use it with a lot. So something like that where you don't want to spend time doing your things, okay, I'm fine with. Right? If you're gonna do something that goes with a figure, though, like, I like what you remember what Sideshow used to do when they were doing the G.I. Joe figures. They would release those diorama pieces that were themed. Yeah, but they were themed to the figures. So you'd have like,
you had like command
pieces
center.
of
I remember. Yeah.
Right. So that was pretty cool. Listen, is this bad or good? I think it's a little bizarre that they're getting into this.
It's not that it's bad. It's not that it's bad. It's just, to me, it's stupid. It's stupid because for those people who have pretty much boosted this company to be something they're clearly not, right? They've been boosted to appear as something they're nowhere near. And then after all of that, all of the gaslighting, all of the lies and all of the bullshit that was told about this company to push it as a great company, and then you see this, it's like, what are you doing? It's like, why aren't you focused on, and again, you mentioned it, they're probably not the ones making this, they're just selling this.
Right.
But it's like have some like respect for your customers.
I don't mind it. Sorry, go ahead, Will. You got rocks.
Nothing but rocks.
Oh, so you bought them already?
I did my whole backyard's in art.
My whole backyard is in art.
Oh man. But look.
What a peasant. Hold on, let me say hello to Nathan. Nathan, how are you, my friend? Welcome.
Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa means what's up.
Go ahead, Rudy.
Look, I don't mind it. I think whatever. Like, they might put out an environment that I really want to get at some point that I could use with another figure. That's fine. I'm not really interested in The Rock. And look, I think people are starting to wake up to what you've been saying and what we've all expected, which is they might be putting out decent figures, right? They're not the end all be all, right? They're expensive.
Oh, that rock's only 55?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. I don't know. I didn't check.
Well, when they first released it, it was a freaking 100.
Right. That's when they released it through Kit site and everything. So now they're releasing it. So it's like for that.
Forest one, it says with the disclaimer,
Yeah.
caution may show up broken.
That's what it said?
Yeah.
Did it say that?
Oh,
I didn't
so-
see that at all.
So SJC, wait a minute. So he says, we ask Hot Toys for accessories. What's wrong with InArt doing it? IG-12 is an accessory pack.
IG-12 figure and the deluxe comes with accessories.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So that's wrong, SJC.
Well, we do want Hot Toys to do dioramas. We want little parts and pieces and stuff, but the problem is, 55 for that rock thing is, in my opinion, more believable than the 100 that it was.
Yes.
Right. And again, just to be clear, we know, SJC, and I said it before, just in case you missed it, we know that InArt is not making these rocks. They're selling it for somebody else, whoever is making them, right? There's a sculptor.
They partnered with someone
Right,
to
right. So
make
it's
it like
not
an InArt product. Yeah.
It's not like this is coming from them. This is not branded InArt, I'm assuming, right? If it is, then they're just adding the label, but I'm telling you, they're not making this. But the point is this, right? It's not about them making a rock that it's bad. No, it has nothing to do with them making a rock. The issue is that they're supposed to be, at least in my eyes, with all of the bullshit that was fed to me and was fed to the community about this company, they should not be worried about rocks at this point. They should be worried about making figures at this point. They should be worried about living up to the expectations that were fed to the community by the YouTubers who were lying the entire time, just trying to push garbage down people's throats. That's
I sent you a screenshot from 1/6 kit of the verbiage that he included in the description based off of what was provided to him by InArt. I sent it to you on Facebook Messenger.
I got it. All right, so let me.
But when I saw it on the InArt website, it was basically just a straight bad translation where it was like caution product may arrive.
Maybe broken.
Albert says, "Can you smoke the rock?" Oh my god!
Only if it's crack.
Only if it's... All right, let me pull up the message so you guys see what William is talking about. So yeah, as you see, that's not the problem. The problem is not that they're making a rock. It's not that. It's if you had been told for an entire year and a half that this company was going to kill Hot Toys and they're sitting there pushing rocks, it's like, what the hell are you doing? That's the point. It's not that they're making a rock is a bad thing. It's I wouldn't expect them to be pushing out rocks when, number one, people don't even get their figures. YouTubers get them first, sell them, and then people get theirs. Paying customers get theirs months after the fact. So none of that is okay, right? So the rock is the least of their problems, right? That's the least of the problem. So that's my point. Why are they even bothering with rocks when they got bigger things to tackle? That's my point.
Right. It almost feels and to me again, right, I don't really care because the environmental pieces, the disclaimer is a little messed up, right, that you might get this broken, but to get, I'm not the most handy person in coming up with my own dioramas, so if I can buy something that's pre-made already, that's nice. At $55, that's not bad either. To me, what's interesting is it's just that they're getting into this market, right? It's like I'm wondering what's going on with InArt that they felt the need to get into this market. Do they think this is just going to supplement their figures, or is this where they're just seeing another stream of income that
I think it's
that
because
they want to open up?
Ready to push as many figures out as they thought they were going to be able to on time, and so they go to these other companies that are doing their own R&D. They slap the InArt tape on the box, and they're able to keep.
Right.
It's like throwing out a business card where it's like, it says InArt.
Right.
Correct.
Because these are already made and readily available from another company.
Right. So that's why I think it's like it keeps them active in the market, and then it's another stream of income, easy money for them to come in, right? That maybe buys them some time until they figure out what's going on with their logistics, because that's the real issue. The logistics is insane, right? I've seen some YouTubers start reviewing the Harry Potter figure, right? And people are still waiting for that Batman figure. I don't know that people have gotten the Aragorn yet, right? And it's like, all right, you're already on figure 3 that you've released, and yet you haven't gotten enough batches out to people, right? That's to me, the big issue with art right now is, I think people are starting to wake up to the fact that, well, not everybody, but I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to the fact that what you were saying was right. What a lot of us have been saying is right. It's another company. They're going to find their own niche market, but they're not the Hot Toys killer that some people made.
Well, that's why I bring it up. Correct. Just again to make my point, which is what I said day one when these know-nothing YouTubers were saying that this company that came out of the blue just because they were attached to a statue company that they were going to take down Hot Toys. And here we are. Hot Toys has made 30 figures in the past 2 months. Where's Inner? Oh, yeah, making rocks. Exactly. So that's my point. That's why I bring that up. It has nothing to do with The Rock. It has everything to do with what was said about this piece of shit company. So I'm going to read what the disclaimer says. So it says, size about 23 by 23 centimeters. Disclaimer, due to the unique materials used in this product, slight chipping or minor branch breakages will not affect the overall appearance. And this is a common occurrence. This type of minor breakage is not covered by warranty. Imagine that. And can be restored to its original appearance by gently shaking and cleaning. I don't know what that means. Special note, this product is handmade. Therefore, there may be slight variations from piece to piece. Please refer to the actual product for specific appearances. So what does this mean by gently shaking and cleaning? So what, like the pieces that fall off, you just shake them and clean them off?
Probably.
So the fact that they're telling you that this is handmade and it may break because it's handmade, that already tells you that's a red flag, okay? Because if you're going to make any product, and I pointed this out in my last video, the Mighty Thor video, with how Hot Toys added these metal prongs to keep the effects from breaking, right? It keeps them all separate from them snapping or cracking or whatever.
Right.
So that is the main reason why I pointed that out in the video, because it's something that Hot Toys had never done before when it came to these effects, because they didn't need to, but now that they needed to, they did, to protect the effects, to make sure they didn't break, to avoid breakage, right? They added an extra piece. So the fact that this company's making product, handmade product, and they're telling you, oh, this can break, what does that mean? They're not worried about the shipping of the item. They're worried about just making it and making that money. Whatever happens to it in transit, that's your problem. And they're telling you ahead of time. That's not how you do business. You don't ship anything. You don't make a product and ship it in a certain way where you got to warn the customer, hey, this can break. Why would I buy that? Why would I order that if you're telling me it's going to break? Why would you not take care or package it properly to where it won't break? And guess what? You'll avoid issues with the item. The reason why this is a problem, the fact that Kit Chen is already warning you people for this ahead of time, is to avoid the request for replacement, the request for refunds, the request for whatever, right? They're letting you know. Can he take care of it? Maybe, possibly, who knows? But they're telling you that for a reason, right? They're making it big enough for you to understand and read and not go, oh, this is broken. What can I do now? Because it's going to happen. You got people like that in the community 24/7 asking the most obvious things about things that are very well known by pretty much everybody. And so this is why they're telling you ahead of time. He's not trying to be mean. He's not trying to be nasty. He's not trying to be anything but informative to avoid any issues after the fact. So they're already warning people ahead of time. So they're not, oh, this is crap, this broke. They're telling you ahead of time that it's going to be crap and that it will most likely break. Rudy, what do you think of a warning like that as a customer?
I mean, look, that's an immediate red flag, I think, right? And you have to look at the product and realize, like, can you live with that, right? Depending on the product. If you think that it's worth $50 or $55, well, this is from Kit, right? So he was selling these for $100. If you think that's worth $100 and you want to take a chance, then that's one thing. Now, if these are going for $55 on the InArt site, and that includes shipping, then that's something else. At almost half the price, I'd be more willing to take a chance on a couple of branches being messed up or something.
One thing, Rudy, before you continue, that Bob had just pointed out, and I don't know if anybody if everybody saw it, but I want to point it out before you continue. So this disclaimer here is specifically on not the rock, by the way. So this is not about the rock. This is about the first diorama they made with the bushes. So this is what this is about. The rock is not on here. As you can see, they're showing you the little branches here and here in the image that William sent. So continue.
No, so I think when you look at a specific product like this, you have to make the decision, right? But I again, to me, that's an immediate thing just to be aware of, right? I would read that and I think, is this worth $100 or whatever kid is charging for it? Again, at $50 for an environmental piece, I might say, all right, maybe with the tall grass, it's gonna, because I might think to myself, even if it's broken or a little messed up, how much money is it going to take me to recreate this myself, right? And how much time? So if I can just buy an off-the-shelf product, even if it's a little damaged,
right?
Who cares?
Yeah,
so that's the benefit.
It's 118 on Kit's page right now.
And the branches, right?
The rock.
One with the Quagmire and the Riverside are 125 each.
And then the rock is how much?
118.
Oh, so it's not 55.
Wait, but isn't it like cheaper on InArt's site?
It might be 55, but that doesn't include shipping.
There you go.
Oh, all right. So Red the Creator, how are you, So that's what it is. So it's 55. So SJC, it looks like you're wrong again, my friend. At least from what we're seeing, it's not 55. Like you said, it's more than that on Kit. So obviously, Kit's not going to sell it at 115 and then have InArt sell it at 55. That doesn't make sense because then nobody would buy it from Kit if they're going to save that much money on InArt. So that means you're paying 55 plus shipping, which it most likely will come out to over $100. So that's that. So there we go with the company being shit again. So, let me catch up here. 55 is on InArt. Yeah, but then remember, then you got shipping most likely. So it'll probably be, they're probably going to charge you. It's probably going to be at least 80.
I'll go check.
I'm checking right now, actually.
Yeah, go check just so we're sure. So at least, we're all on the same page. Albert says, wait, so they are selling rocks and greenery? Stop it, Albert, before I send you to rehab. Ripple 5p less for a dope castle rooftop with magnets and storage. Yeah, it's crazy. Very expensive for their stuff. All right, so find out, guys. Let me know what is going on with the InArt rock. And then we're going to get into the poison ivy. And actually, no, we're going to finish this InArt topic. We'll get to the poison ivy, and then we're out of here.
So it looks like 55 direct from InArt.
How much is shipping?
Let's see.
Because I'm telling you right now, there's no way it's going to be 100 plus on Kit and 55 only on InArt. It ain't going to work.
Right. Let's see.
Oh, look at that. Bob says it's 55 shipped. It's 55 on InArts and 300 an hour for the psychiatrist. Oh, my God.
Wait, estimated shipping cost?
Welcome.
No, it's not. It's $25. The estimated shipping cost is $25 to the US.
Okay, so there you go. Like I said, how much? $80. Bingo.
$80.
Yeah, exactly. So, which is still weird. It's still very weird to see that Kit has it that much more for that much more. You know what I mean? Even though I understand, because one of the benefits from ordering directly from InArt was to get exclusives and to get, things that they offered specifically if you ordered through them. So I'm assuming that they're giving everybody a break ordering from them directly.
Maybe
a slight break at least. Yeah, guys, hit that like button if you haven't yet. Thank you guys for being here as well. And then, like I said, this idiot. So this person here, for some reason, this guy is always apologizing for InArt. He pretends that he works for InArt at that. But here he is. PSA, if you ordered from Spec Fiction, it's not InArt's fault that you haven't received Gandalf. You should have known better. Okay? So now he's blaming the customer for InArt's problem. Everybody knows that Spec Fiction, when you order from Spec Fiction, they take forever as it is. Obviously, depending on what you order from them, right? This is not new. But my issue with this comment is you're pointing out that it's the customer's fault that you haven't gotten your piece when tons of people who didn't order from Spec Fiction haven't gotten their stuff, period. Right? So again, this tool is always everywhere, apologizing for Inner as if he works for them. And he's said himself, "Oh, I work for Inner. I'm what do you say? I'm qualified to answer this because I work for Inner." This guy knows absolutely nothing. Okay, I can tell you that he's balls deep in the Inner streams. He's balls deep in all these things. That's why he wants to feel like he knows anything. He wants to come off like he knows anything. And this was the idiot tool retard that came on my stream when I was streaming with Nefty and I forget who else. And we were talking about future of Hot Toys, bringing out Revan, bringing out what do you call it? Star Killer, because those were a topic that I had one stream. And he purposely came on my stream to say, for a bunch of veterans, why would you guys think that Hot Toys would make stuff like that? And here we are. They made both. Not one. They made both. So again, this guy doesn't know shit. I don't know why he's always in the groups pretending that he knows shit. And now, again, an even more slap in the face from him, blaming people who support this garbage that it's your fault for ordering from a company that sells that garbage. So, William, how do you feel about something like this?
I think that guy blocked me.
Did he?
What did you do? What did you do to the peasant?
I don't know. I'm the nicest person ever.
Oh, I don't know about that, but what did you do?
How dare you, sir?
How dare you, sir?
I don't recall. A lot
Maybe
of
you
people,
put him in his place.
I get blocked all the time because people aren't willing to converse. Because there's what, like, I will be completely open to like listening to people's opinions and why they have the opinions.
Right.
And then of course I'm going to give my input.
Right.
And a lot of people are unable to listen to anyone else's thoughts about anything.
Correct.
And
everybody wants to be an expert, and everybody wants to be a know-it-all, and everybody wants to come off like they know everything. And that's where it comes from.
And so it's like, even if it's like, something in real life, politics or anything else, like being able to actually talk to somebody and hear why they think that, they need to be able to listen to you as to why you think what you think.
Correct.
And that goes, with any product, any whatever, anything. But as soon as like these people get so defensive over nothing, and
especially things that they don't know anything about. That's what I don't understand. A lot of these, I can tell you this guy here, just like everybody else that supports InArt, they don't own anything in art. So who are you defending? Why are you defending?
The whole fiasco with like the ring with Gandalf, that
right.
A large portion of them had crappy rings, and Kit went out of his way to get InArt to give him replacement rings that he individually mailed to all these people out of his own pocket. And and then people were still crying about it. And then you had the people on the streams like, well, mine's fine. I don't know what y'all are talking about. And you tried to talk during the episode. And then after the episode, Joker J, you don't want to listen to anybody else's thoughts about Star Wars. You're just convinced that everything new is bad. But anywho, you're just like my brother. Hey Rob, what's up? Are you watching?
Oh my
This is for you. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna get you demonetized.
Oh my god!
But
that is hysterical.
And just like you try to, the people get so upset that their ring was good, so you can't badmouth the company because
correct.
My ring has little scribbles that are legible, and your ring looks like I threw it in the dirt and there's no writing on it, and it's like those are two completely different things. But
Right.
Gandalf had like people were missing the moth. People had like two left hands instead of a left and a right. There was sword.
There were
shoot.
issues.
Yeah, and I've never really understood the batch system anyway, because that always gives me a bad feeling, because it's like, are they using the sales of the batch system to fund additional stuff? Like, they don't have enough money to buy
Right.
everything flat out. Like, okay, 10,000 people ordered, we only have enough to make 1,000, so we need to make these, get the rest of the money from that 1,000 so we can roll it into the next one, like the Toys Wonderland buying scheme.
Right.
And it's like, so far there hasn't been anything that hasn't not showed up from NR completely, but it's just their timeline keeps dragging out because of the whole we delivered. No, you gave influencers some
Right.
figures that's not a release.
Right.
It'd be like Hot Toys doing the promo photos and being like, what, we're done, obviously. It's like,
We
it's
dropped
out.
our figures, yeah.
It's like, well, where's everybody else's? But
So yeah, I just wanted to bring this up because, again, this guy is such a tool. He doesn't know shit about shit, and he wants to always be in the groups pretending like he knows anything about anything, talking. Again, I don't know where he came from. I don't know who this guy is, but this is a person who pretends to be an expert, especially on in art. Okay, on in art specifically. Why? Who knows? But I can tell you, I don't know this kid from a hole in the wall, and he doesn't know shit about shit. And last but not least,
before we get into that, I sent you something on Instagram. Inart is listening to our stream right now because they just posted a response about The Rock.
Oh,
and how it's going to impact other releases, or how it's not going to impact their schedule for the Batman.
Oh, here we go. Let's get into it. Guys.
So they just posted a response.
Hi.
Hi, John. You can come on. John's watching. He's gonna jump on the stream right now.
Hi, Inart. We hate you. So let's
and Howard Chan, if you're watching, we love you.
So here we go.
Namor.
So it says, thank you for the support for the Rock base. We've recently had some questions regarding the base, and we'd like to share updates with collectors. This base was initially introduced at the end of last year for customers in mainland China. After receiving inquiries from international customers, we have decided, nobody's asking for this damn rock. Get the hell out of here. After receiving inquiries from international customers, we have decided to make the base more widely available at a price point as close to cost as possible for interested collectors. Nobody wants it. We have also noted comments from concerned collectors regarding the timing of this release, alongside the Batman and Aragorn figures that are still in the process of being shipped. Please note that due to licensing requirements, the Batman and Aragorn figures were only available directly from Inart in mainland China. All orders for these figures will be fulfilled by Inart and retailers within China. On the other hand, the Rock base orders will be fulfilled by the Inart overseas team and will have no impact on the release of our other figures, as they were developed and produced separately. Yeah, because they're not making these rocks, somebody else's. This is why they're telling you this. This is so stupid. We want to reassure you that these additional options for collectors will not impede our commitment to the timely production. Timely? What are you talking about? Who are you lying to? Kamala Harris? Production of figures, which remains our top priority. Once again, we extend our gratitude for your understanding and apologize for any confusion that may have arisen. So, yeah, we didn't make the Rock. It's not going to affect our delayed schedule, is what just happened.
Yep.
So go ahead, Whelan. What do you think?
Well, if they're the Inart International or whatever, would be them shipping a big batch of them to the U.S. together, and then having the U.S. distributor poop them out to people that order. That would explain why the shipping cost is less.
Right.
It also explains why Kit's price is higher, because he had the price that they gave to him, and then he double and triple boxes and he pays, regular, like, full shipping prices when he mails stuff out. He doesn't have like a business rate the way that, like, in the US, where these businesses get that UPS special and all that stuff. His shipping rates seem rather high compared to other ones that I've seen, and that's just him paying for it himself. That's why it's built in to the price. But it's a rock, and it's gonna,
And
It's not
because
gonna affect
I
other
guess
figures.
I guess my inner Superman, the only thing I order from them will not be releasing this year. That's crazy. Can you imagine?
No, they'll release it to the influencers and then claim that it's been released.
Yeah, New Year's Eve, it'll be like one in an influencer's hand.
Can you imagine? That's so disgusting as a company. That's so disgusting. Rudy, how do you feel about this PSA?
I just want my Harry Potter. Send me my Harry Potter and I'll be happy.
I just want my Harry Potter. Unbelievable.
Wouldn't that be something if J&D's Harry Potter came out first? And
well, we were talking about this, with the fiasco with the Joker, not to keep on belaboring this will just be a quick point, but with the fiasco with the Joker about the licensing fees and their $1,000 price point, and then Hot Toys basically said, here's our DX version, single figure, right? Then I started laughing because I told Fabs, I did something bad. I ordered the J&D.
I did something bad.
I ordered the J&D Harry Potter in the Quidditch uniform, right? And I thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to order that direct from the States. That's going to have to go through Kit's site or somebody else. And no, they have the license for the U.S. distribution for 6-scale Harry Potter figures. And I'm like, and InArt doesn't have it? Like, there's such a high demand for this license in the U.S. that InArt couldn't get it, that I have to go through Kit, or some other site. It was just, that one was a little bizarre to me. So I would not be surprised if I actually do end up getting the J&D before I get the InArt one.
It's probably the cost of the international license, where they could just be like, well, we can buy the China one for 1/10 of the price,
right?
And have just people mail it. And from a business perspective, because Star Ace was making the Harry Potter ones before, and so that being the worldwide license. And J&D probably just had to beat what Star Ace had offered them, and then they get the North America one.
Right.
But,
Ash says, I don't know about you guys, but I feel better about this rock now. Can you imagine? Oh my god! All right, so
Nefty is somewhere. Nefty's somewhere cheering.
Oh no, Nefty definitely ordered 3. Okay. He ordered 3. All right, guys. Last but not least, so like I said, we have this. We didn't talk about the Rio because there's only one picture. Once there are more pictures, we'll get into it. So here is Mondo's Poison Ivy. I was actually talking to Rudy about this before because he sent me this picture. And these look really good. I actually like these figures a lot. Obviously, I wouldn't get them because they don't fit anywhere. They don't go anywhere. But I every time I see them, you get a lot of stuff with them. You get a lot of different head sculpts. You get a lot of different ways to display them. A lot of accessories. Again, very, very animated. But remember, if you were a fan of the show, this is exactly what they look like. So, Rudy, how is this? How do you like this line? And why you're not getting into this?
I mean, I've always been tempted, right? Just like you said, if you're a fan of the cartoon, they're giving you pretty good, versions of what you saw in the cartoon, and they're even doing the cell shading, right? The paint apps are kind of recreating what you saw in the cartoon in terms of like the shaded panels and whatnot. Yep. So first of all, I missed out on the first ones, although you can go back and get them, but you can't really get the exclusives anymore.
Right.
So that's the first thing. And second, as much as I'm a fan of Batman the Animated Series, I always have to wonder, when you're looking at the whole collection, what we were talking about lines, right? Would it fit in? They're not the most expensive pieces either, but would they really fit into your collection?
Right.
And that's why I decided to pass on them. I think I could always go back and back collect if I really wanted, because they're great, right? They've got the Clayface too, that's coming out, that they had at I think at San Diego Comic-Con. So they've got a ton. They did the Phantom, they did a Joker, Harley. I mean, the Mr. Freeze that they did was great. The original one too. It just doesn't fit in. That's the problem.
Joker just says I scored the Mondo Orco Deluxe one.
Oh, look at you.
That's lucky. That's luck. It's late wind. It will be arriving someplace sooner than others, and you'll be on it for years. That really blows. Now, question for you. How are they doing? What do you remember what the first one was released that's out right now?
From
The
Mondo?
first one?
The first of this line, the animated series.
I think the Batman, yeah.
The Batman. So how is it doing on the secondary market? Because you could kind of gauge how, I don't know how long ago it came out, but you could kind of gauge, all right, it's been, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months that it's been out. Is it going up in price or is it going down in price?
Well, you can still get it. You can still get that one direct from Mondo.
Oh, okay. So it's not sold out. Gotcha.
Yeah.
They released
the
these special edition ones that you have to order within a certain amount of time, and then once that time limit's done, it's not like InArt with their ever growing window. It's
He's saying Fab, Rudy, and Will. Why do companies who make 1/6 feel they need to charge 230 plus? Well, go ahead. I'm gonna let you answer that, Will.
it's just because everyone keeps raising their prices, and so
Right.
if they didn't, they would be able to sell probably the same number that they're already selling, because Mondo has its own fan base that like the style of figures. But if you're only charging 150 and everyone else is charging 250, they can be like, oh, your stuff must be cheap.
Right.
Like, why is it's cheap in price, but is it cheap in quality? And and it's the same thing with like cell phones, where it's like if another company slashes their price, it's like, well, what aren't they including? Because everyone else's prices are going up and they're going down. That sounds weird to me. And I do agree with what Thule just said, that they do look a little too toyish for my liking. That's why I haven't personally bought any of the Mondo figures. I really like the X-Men animated series ones that I've seen.
I like the He-Man. I like the He-Man and now the Thundercats.
Yeah, and it's like they tons of heads, 4 or 5.
Right.
Lots of accessories, right?
Yep.
It's nice.
You can recreate, several different episodes of the cartoon, scenes, iconic scenes, whatever. But for me, if they were in my case, it would be like realistic looking figures, and then this.
Right.
And it's just how like the Star Wars, the Clone Wars figures from Sideshow, where the animated Obi-Wan, animated Anakin, and animated Yoda, like if you had them side by side with Star Wars figures, all of a sudden it's like, hey, these look like the what's that? And it's their cartoon style. And there's a difference between a live action version of a cartoon figure and straight cartoon. And and those figures, the Star Wars ones, even had the cloth clothes and everything else, and they still look cartoon with the sculpts. And with the Mondo ones, at least they lean straight into it, where it's like, that's not fabric, that's just colored plastic.
Yeah, it's all molded, it's all sculpted.
Which leans into the full cartoon look. But with that, you run into the price, because it's like, well, okay, like I know you can justify prices all you want when you really love something.
Correct. Always, every single time, no matter what it is.
Well, they give me 4 head sculpts, and it's like, like that is a neat feature. That is a very unique feature to Mondo, because most other ones, if you're lucky, you get 4 mouthpieces, not 4 full heads. But but most people aren't popping the heads off every day and switching out to a different one. That's every so often type of thing. It's just like, how often do you repose your figures? Some people constantly, some people not enough. But the Mondo figures themselves, it's like the prices keep going up. The exclusives, there's a market for them, because every time I see an X-Men one sell out, then I see the exclusives going for, $200 over the retail price because somebody wants that exclusive one that they can't get anymore.
Right, the Mr. Freeze. I just checked on eBay. The Mr. Freeze, which was the kind of the second release that came out from Mondo from that line. The exclusive is going for $400 to $600, $450, and then the shipping is like ridiculous, right? So it's like $450, but $150 shipping. So you're paying $600 for that figure right now if you want it.
And the Mondo boxes aren't small either.
Yeah, they're big. And think about it, they had that Man Bat too that got released with the wings fully deployed. I mean, that
was a beautiful.
They're releasing big pieces, you know. That's
but
that's how they get you too with the price. Go ahead, William.
I can't justify the look because they look just like the little 6-inch Batman the Animated Series figures that I used to buy.
Right.
Exactly, that's what it is.
And
they just basically,
those looked cool for when I had them, but now comparing it to my 1/6 scale collection, it's another apples to oranges type of thing where it's like it doesn't fit for my collection. Like if I had a detolf of just nothing but Mondo figures, whether they be the same line or mixed lines, then maybe, like if that was like how I have some single detolfs by themselves in my setup down there, a single one by himself just being Mondo, that would be a possibility. But even then, it's like the X-Men, it takes a real peasant to go from hot toys and maybe I should go
It takes a real peasant to go from hot toys to
wait, so does that mean that we're not real peasants because we're resisting?
Yeah.
Does that mean we?
Like I said, it's funny. I was just thinking maybe I should get one of each: one He-Man, one Thundercats, and one Batman animated, just to like know what they're about.
But now you've been shamed into not doing it.
Well, now I don't like them.
Go with your one Ken.
Exactly, my one Ken. All right, so Rudy, how do you feel about it all?
No, like I said, they're interesting. They're good recreations of what we saw on screen, but they just don't fit in with the collection. That's the issue. That's really the issue.
All right, guys, there you have it. Rudy, are you expecting anything? Are you waiting on anything?
Oh, I just got
wait, I was just gonna zoom you in.
I got a couple.
Why do you?
You got it today?
Back there? What is going on with all those boxes, Rudy?
I'm waiting for my Maja cases. That's it, and then they're gonna get displayed.
Rudy, you just got that today?
I just got it today.
Oh, why so late? I got mine like 4 months ago. What happened?
Yeah, you got yours. Yeah, I got mine from Sideshow. You know what you didn't get? I know you don't have this one.
What's
My
that?
other blue person.
Oh no, I don't collect in art. Sorry.
Nateri from Avatar.
I know she looks good. I can't wait.
So I just got her, and so that's great.
Anything else coming or not?
I got the Maverick from VTS.
The Tom Cruise.
Yeah, the test suit version. So that's shipping from KG Hobby. Joker
J.
Astronaut,
the black astronaut, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So Joker J, it's finally shipped. I got my notification. It's finally moving. So and then we'll see what else comes out.
And then you, William, are you expecting anything? Waiting on anything?
89 Deluxe shipped.
What, the figure?
Yeah, from
nice.
Psycho.
And then
it'll be here on Thursday.
Lucky. Are we doing live unboxing again? Oh
no.
Oh, selfish.
I won't be home.
Boo. What else are you expecting?
I think that's it right now.
That's it.
Oh, Mantis notices started shipping.
Oh, yes. So, guys, I got my Mantis. Notification that it's shipping. It's charging $829. I got my notification that my Mark 6 2.0 with gantries it's charging on the 29th. So those two are coming out.
Oh, Mark 6 is charging?
Yep, mine is. So stay tuned, guys. It's gonna get juicy. And also, guys, my Chrome Cody is going to be here tomorrow, it looks like. So I will have a video for you guys. What's tomorrow? Tomorrow's Wednesday, probably probably Thursday or Friday. If I get it tomorrow. It's supposed to be here tomorrow. So very excited for that figure. I'm very excited for my Mark 6. I'm very excited for my Mantis. I can't wait. So as always, guys, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.